lot of stuff. So, Metal Gear Solid Delta will come out tomorrow, so we'll probably drop down to like half reaction, half gaming streams until we beat Metal Gear Solid Delta. I keep wanting to call it 5. But I got the early one, so I'm going to get it like 48 hours early. And I got like the digital deluxe edition, so it'll have like a whole bunch of goodies that we can look at whenever we get in the game. Like extra costumes and stuff that we can use on Snake. What the heck is this? Hope you had a good weekend, Nigel. Yeah, a little sick. Yo, her boobs are jiggling and she's not even moving. Her boobs are jiggling and she's not even moving. Damn, what's with all the women in this? This kind of looks like a Souls-like. PvP? A PvE?
No, stop!
That looks good.
I do not retreat! I am the commander of Brandenburg! This fortress shall be your grave!
I don't know about that. The gameplay looks really clunky. Well, that's good at least. At least you got the grocery shopping done. All right. So apparently this Where Winds Meet is going to be a free-to-play game. Apparently it is free-to-play. And it has PvP in it. But it has massive amounts of PvE. I recorded and pretty much did fuck all, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that was my weekend. There's nothing else that I could really do, so... Oh, so this has depth triggers. What is that thing? So apparently this is going to be free to play and you're not going to be able to purchase skins, but in-game cosmetic pack 1. That looks like skins to me. That looks like skins to me.
Wraith protocol activated.
Wraith protocol activated. That's what you sound like. You sound like somebody trying to make their voice deeper.
All squads, we need backup now.
That looks like crap. How old is this game?
You guys are fucking useless. Is this what you get paid for?
Why does this look like a ripoff of Rainbow Six? Bro. Ain't no way. Bro, if I looked at the kill cam and I saw that I died because of this, I'd throw my console out the window. Wasn't even on the guy. Like, what? I think this is multiplayer. That's crazy. Bro, there it is again. Bro, there's no grit when you get killed through a wall.
We sent them packing, boys. Return to HQ.
Clearly the lobby favors somebody else there. Nope, not that one. Hold on. There we go. This looked like it was interesting. I don't know what it is with these games. I love the look of them. But I have yet to click on one of these game trailers and seen anything other than a roguelike. Get a big ass pole. It looks like it might be a little fun. Yeah, solar is a great way to save money, but it costs a lot of money to get though. But solar is a great thing, especially if your house the electricity goes out a lot. I think whenever I get a house again, if I ever am able to get a house again, I would like to get solar panels. Oh, this is that one game again. Okay, here we go. That barely moved. Okay, we looked at the gun twice now. Are we gonna play some games? Hey, there we go. You can do it. Hot damn. What is that? That looks terrible. What the hell? What is that gun? Strong magnetic field, analog display, my experience. What? You have to click the buttons on the side. Oh. Well, that worked. Oh, he's dying. We got a loser. what's crazy to me? How minimalistic these chairs are. They're probably the comfiest chairs you will ever sit in. You ever thought about like how comfortable those chairs were back in like high school? And yet you buy like a $500 chair nowadays and it's the most like awful thing you could ever sit in. I might as well just go and get one of these things, man. I don't know what it is with them classroom chairs, man, but they were so comfortable. They didn't even have padding on them. That's the crazy part. They were so comfortable. What the hell is that? Are we going anywhere with this? What's going on here? It's weird. This game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I really like the art style of it. I like how it kind of looks like an alien spaceship. Like, from the movie Alien. It kind of reminds me of Alien Isolation a little bit. I hope that it's a really fun game. I might play it when it comes out. What the heck? Oh, it's Super Meat Boy, of course. That's right. Super Meat Boy, guys. I might play this too.
What's up, everybody? Damon here at Gamescom. We're at the Super Meat Boy 3D booth. Super Meat Boy is going 3D. I reviewed the original game for IGN a million years ago. I loved it. I'm here with Dominic Glassman, who is the art director on the game. You may recognize his voice as well from the trailer also. So
yeah, I did that, yeah.
Okay, so Super
Super
Meat Boy 3D.
Meat
If you're
Boy!
a fan of the original game, if you know the original game, is this going to feel familiar just in three-dimensional and stuff?
Definitely, yeah. We really tried to get the feeling right? We worked together with Tommy, who programmed the original game, because it was really important.
Oh,
to get the
we got
feeling in there, right? Even if it's 3D, so basically the character will feel kind of similar, right? And many people already told us that it works.
You know, I never beat the original Super Meat Boy. If I get this, I've got to beat it. I got to.
So that's really great to hear that they really feel like it's a Meat Boy game, right? And that's great because we want to have the spirit of Meat Boy in there.
Okay. The original game had a lot of levels, 2D games, a lot of levels. Are they going to find a lot of levels here too? They're sort of on the shorter side?
There won't be as much as in Meat Boy 1 because, I mean, it's 3D, right?
Right.
Creating levels is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But we are close, I think, so it's got a lot of content. So around 50 levels per world and Dark World, of course. So it's a lot. I think if you really want to complete everything, you will take some time, yeah.
There are boss fights in there too, right?
Yeah, there are boss fights.
They added
yeah.
boss
Tell us about
fights.
the fixed camera.
Yeah.
What was the thing you might have? Was just one less thing for the player to think about?
Exactly. I mean, it was the result of a lot of experimentation because we started with the prototype and started different setups, different camera setups, different movement options. And in the end, we thought, okay, it would be nice if the player doesn't also have to control the camera, right? Because it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
The game is fast, the game is difficult, and if you also have to create control the camera.
Yes, this game mostly goes based on momentum. So if you fuck up at all, you can ruin the entire play through the map because it's map based.
It gets a bit tricky, probably, yeah.
Do you think players are going to die a lot in this game?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Definitely. They will die a lot.
3D
We also die a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, we play the game a lot, and I think the last Dark World level we created, we died about 100 times or something.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay. Nice.
it will be pretty difficult
Okay.
in the end, yeah.
3D platformers can feel pretty different from 2D platformers. They
Yeah.
can be slower, a little bit less precise, but the original game, was a very fast-paced, precise
You
game.
have
So
to
how
be
have you
very
tried to
precise.
adjust the controls for that.
I mean, we had to reduce the speed a bit, right? Because Super Meat Boy is really fast, right?
Right.
That's also why the camera is expand out that much, right? So it's fast, but we had to make it a bit slower to still work in a way, right? Because we want to keep the precision, and for that we had to change the tempo a bit. But it's still a lot faster than the usual 3D platformer, yeah.
Have you added any new movement options or new abilities for Meat Boy?
Yeah, I mean, we have a...
Super Meat Boy, the original one, was mega fast, dude. It was so fast. It kind of threw me off how fast it was whenever I played the original one.
No, right?
Okay.
It was in Super Meat Boy Forever,
Oh,
but
God,
in the
those
first
rock.
game. And it really helps to kind of help you navigate the 3D space, right? Because you have a horizontal option to reach walls and stuff like that, yeah.
Would you ever consider a VR version of Super Meat Boy 3D? Because
Oh,
there's
God,
some good
no.
platformers that have worked in VR, like
Bro,
Astro
this
Bot.
guy's a sadistic son of a bitch. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. Are you crazy? Bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We are a bit afraid of motion sickness, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, first person mode would be pretty, pretty
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, generally, I think it could work. But
There's
we
no
really
way.
are working on something like
Bro.
that. I mean, it could be something that we look into after release, right?
Yeah. I noticed from what we've seen so far, Meat Boy's face gets more and more disfigured the more you die. Are there any
Does
other
it really?
more fun details like that I've missed from the trailer so far?
Yeah, we have a lot of death animations. That was important to us because usually we do weird stuff with our studio, so we thought it might be interesting to add a lot different variations of how you can die and a bit more gore, basically. Yeah.
Cool. You reached out to your audience last month to ask which characters they'd like to see added to the game. Are there any cameos you can confirm or tease?
I don't want to spoil anything. I think there will be some returns that people will be happy to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't spoil any characters. So, but there will be some. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I love
Cool,
the
they
original.
brought
I'm
back
excited
some
for it. When are we going to get to
characters,
play Super Meat Boy 3D?
It will release next year, so
Okay.
we don't have a date yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on, man.
Early next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dominic, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Stay tuned for more right here on IGN from Gamescom.
Everything's coming out in 2026, man. What the heck? Oh, here we go. I've been looking forward to this. So this is everything. We'll be playing this game tomorrow. This is everything that they changed with Metal Gear Solid and 3 and Metal Gear Solid Delta. We're gonna watch this whole thing.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Metal Gear Solid Delta, despite the massively updated look, isn't as big of a remake as it seems at first glance. All of the areas are still divided by loading screens, all the dialogue
That's
audio
fine.
is the same, and for the most part, all the cutscenes are a one-to-one recreation of the original. Weirdness and all. Yep. Still weird.
Ocelot, man.
That being said, after beating Delta, I still spotted some big changes made from classic MGS3, and I'm here to break them all down for you. Keep in mind, I'll be using PlayStation notation since I played using a DualSense controller.
Yeah, that's right, losers. PlayStation, best station. Unless you're playing Stalker, then it's PC. I'm not gonna lie, it's PC all the way.
Snake Eater offered a wealth of options in how you
Yeah, a
approach-
lot of people don't know this, but you can actually shoot these cables. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't do when I played through this in European Extreme, simply because I wanted to get a good score. But you could actually cut the ropes here by shooting it, and it will make the bridge more unstable, and those guys will actually slide off and die. You could actually even hang on to the side of the rope bridge, but they'll see you if you do that. You can hang on to the side of the rope bridge. If you cut the cables to this bridge, it gets really unstable, and you could slide, and if you do, you have to quickly press the action button, which is triangle, otherwise you'll fall off.
certain encounters, but that came at the price of grafting systems onto a control scheme that started with the first Metal Gear Solid. Delta has been massively
So, like,
changed
right there, if that guy were to walk across this bridge, it would tilt, these guys would fall off and die.
onto a control scheme that started with the first Metal Gear Solid. Delta has been massively changed in this regard, with controls hewing much closer to
That
modern
looks
sensibility.
so good. Yo, I'm super, super excited to play this.
When you choose the new style option. Examples include aiming and firing over the shoulder
Pop.
with the triggers, moving weapons and equipment to the D-pad, crouching to the circle button, and climbing to the X button. Instead of rolling by hitting the crouch
No way! They changed that? No, we changing that shit back, boy. Nuh-uh.
button while
Triangle
running,
button.
it's been completely
No.
moved to triangle, but you can still hold triangle to immediately go prone out of a roll.
No, that's
CQC
disgusting.
has also been
Oh,
moved to
that's
the right
god
trigger,
awful.
but past that,
No, No, if there's an option to go back to OG controls, we're doing that all day.
Concepts are pretty much the same, except there's
No.
no pressure-sensitive buttons like with the original release.
Yo,
For
I
instance-
have played this game for over 10 years in the original style of the game. We will honor Konami, goddammit.
Instead of holding down circles
That is
super hard to slit
disgusting.
someone's throat, you can just press X while they're in a hold.
No!
You can opt to use a hybrid version of the Legacy controls if you'd like, but that will switch you to the Legacy camera as well, which we'll discuss later. Aim and
Really? Oh, that's stupid. Bro, that's just mean. So you mean to tell me that if I switch the control scheme, it switches to the Legacy controls? Or the Legacy camera? So you can't... That's so stupid. If you're not aware, I've got a little knowledge to drop on you. There were originally 2 versions of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater like Metal Gear Solid Substance. The original version that I've actually played, you couldn't control the camera. It was a locked location, just like this. You could still go into first-person mode, which is how you were able to see most of the map, but you could not control the camera. Then Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance came out, and you could control the camera. And then Metal Gear Solid, it came out with a new version. I think it was like, I'm not sure, but I do know that they came out with an updated version of it, and it did have the ability to control the camera. So these games, originally you couldn't control the cameras in them. They were locked locations, which made the game even harder. I almost forgot to say that the first time.
fire controls will still be on the trigger, and you can move back and forth while prone while aiming.
That
But
looks
you
so
can't
weird.
move while in first person.
Yeah, that's what you had to do to
Weapons will
see.
behave differently in Legacy style as well. As an example, the Mark 22 Tranquilizer in the original Snake Eater has very little bullet drop, allowing you to snipe headshots from far away. It behaves the same way in Legacy style in Delta, while there is heavy and noticeable bullet drop in the new style. Presumably,
Oh.
since the updated controls and third-person aiming would make it far too easy otherwise.
I could get used to that. I could get used to that.
While the updated 3DS
God, that looks like shit.
version included crouch walking, the original Snake Eater and even the updated Subsistence only allowed you to sneakily walk upright. Moving while crouched meant you went prone and started crawling. In Delta, you can now press circle to crouch and continue to move while hunched over
That's
instead
cool.
of going prone. And to fully lay down, you need to hold crouch. Stalking has also been moved to holding L1 while moving
You
instead
can
of
actually go up the side of the cliff now? What? No way.
and continue to move while hunched over instead of going prone. And to fully lay down, you need to hold
That's crazy. You could go up the side of the mountain now.
crouch. Stalking has also been moved to holding L1 while moving instead of using the D-pad, since the D-pad is now used for switching weapons and equipment. You can also now move in first person, albeit slowly, and movement while aiming while you're prone has been updated. Even though your gun will drop when crawling in first person, you can keep aiming in one direction while moving.
Yo, that's crazy. So wait a minute. Oh my god, I bet that's a thing. I bet, knowing the devs of this game, I bet if you shot a rock and it bounced off and hit a guard, you would still get the
Even
shot.
though your gun will drop when crawling in
bet.
first person,
I bet that's a thing.
you can keep aiming.
See? I bet that's a thing. Because in the game, the revolver does the same thing. You can shoot other objects with the revolver, and it'll ricochet.
in one direction while moving in any direction, making lateral movement and backwards crawling while aiming possible.
Oh, no.
It's all much more intuitive, rather than having to spin like a top.
We don't talk about it, man. Don't talk about it.
To round out the rest of the movement changes, you no longer have to keep holding the left stick into a piece of cover to flatten yourself to it. Snake will now stick to any cover you press up against, even if you let go of holding forward.
That's cool.
While most of Delta is built on the bones of Snake Eater, there are some
Not a lot of people will know this. The controls for Metal Gear Solid 3 are actually kind of hard. In order to stick to cover, you have to be pushed up against it with the D-pad, not the D-pad, the thumbstick. So whenever you like lean behind cover, like whenever you're like turning behind to look and see who's there, it's like you have to hold like 4 buttons to do that. It's actually very complex. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they went away from that.
New animations.
That used to be like the theme of it. That's why I'm so good at it, because I played so much of the first Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 that I've gotten so used to it that it's like clockwork for me. It's just natural.
Particularly with the CQC
This actually might jack me up.
takedowns. While the Slam and Snake Eater used to be just one animation over and over,
Yep.
you now get unique ones depending on how and from what direction you approach an enemy.
That's so cool. Bro, we might have to platinum this game, boys. We might have to platinum it. It'll
While
be
you
my
can
first Metal Gear Solid
Still
platinum.
open up the survival viewer to swap out your camo. You can now do so in a pop-up menu without needing to pause by holding up on the D-pad, selecting with the right.
That, by the way, this function is fucking amazing. The fact that I don't have to go into the menu, open up the camouflage, and then sit there in the camouflage menu and figure out what's best. The fact that I have a menu now, mind blown.
Stick and pressing X. There's a small transition while Snake swaps into his new duds,
That's
but this is
crazy.
a much more intuitive way to swap into what you need without breaking up the experience. It only keeps your most recent combinations in this menu, so if you need a novel face camo with a particular uniform, rather than the usual suspects, you'll still need to enter the survival viewer.
No!
The codex receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear
That's
it.
Metal Gear
The
Solid.
1960s may be too early for a fancy codec, but Naked Snake still has a radio. Just as in the original Snake Eater, the radio will open the full-screen dialog box, but you can now also pop it up while still in gameplay, making for a bit more streamlined experience. Another great quality of life update is that you can skip individual voice lines and even fast forward to different parts of the conversation by holding triangle without the audio cutting out entirely.
In a battle situation, you'll only have a split second to decide how to attack.
In the original, skipping
Bro, we get to be listening to all their stuff while we're walking around. Like, there's a lot of dialogue that you don't typically get unless you sit there and listen to all of it. But if you can walk around and listen to their dialogue, we're doing that, dude. 100%. We're going to get the full Metal Gear Solid experience.
anything would mean no more VO for the rest of the call. Also, if you interrogate enemies to learn secret frequencies...
Yeah, you can interrogate enemies. They give you like missile launch codes, and what you do is you can input the code. I don't typically do it because it kills the enemies that are in the area where the missiles hit. You can call in a missile strike, and it kills anything that it hits, obviously, but you can call it in. And there's something else you could do with it as well. I believe that if you interrogate an enemy, it marks on your map. It X's out where the supplies and the food are. Supplies is like the ammunition and guns that they have.
Doors, they'll show up on the radio dial here, so you can easily use them.
That's cool.
Delta also adds a photo mode to the Snake Eater experience.
Bro, we're gonna be taking so many pictures. We're gonna be taking so many pictures.
You can enter photo mode through the pause menu and change things like depth of field, frames, filters, and even toggle the characters on and off. Your options will be limited while in a cutscene though.
Boys, we are not gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid Delta. We are going to be experiencing Metal Gear Solid Delta. So I hope you guys got your uniforms on, got your olive garb ready to go, because starting tomorrow, we're not just going to be playing Metal Gear Solid Delta. I am even going to drop the difficulty by 1. We will be playing this game in Extreme, because in European Extreme, you don't get to experience the full Metal Gear Solid experience. We will be experiencing the full experience.
Just like the original,
Yes, they brought back the Krokans! Let's go!
there's one Keratin frog in all 64 areas of the
Keratin.
map that you can shoot to unlock special camo. Delta
Special camo is like camo that the Predator has. It bends the light. It's so fucking cool!
has added a camouflage rubber duck to every area as well, which unlocks a different kind of camo. You can check your progress for both.
Really? Oh, there's a progress meter! Ah! Bro, what?
both of these in the pause menu, as well as whether or not you found the one for that particular area. Just look for the checkbox.
Bro, I feel like a fucking kid in a candy store right now. This is my game, bro!
Delta's map is as bare bones as the originals, but now you're given a compass in your equipment menu that even highlights the direction you should be going, making it—
Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like that. Because the map's already very linear. You don't need a compass. You don't need this. Whenever I played the game, when you guys saw me play the game, when I streamed it, we went to every area of the game. We completely cleaned out the game. You don't need this.
a quasi minimap. This doesn't use a battery, so keep it equipped at all times if you'd like to keep your bearings more easily.
Oh, you can equip it. Okay.
Not only will you get on-screen pop-ups for actions you're performing in the field, you'll occasionally get reminders of where you need to be going, what you need to be doing, and even contextual button prompts like climb.
Dude, I don't like that. Please tell me there's a way to disable that. I hope there's a way to disable that. I ain't no pussy, man. I'm like an old school gamer, dude. I don't need that.
Or the full laundry list of CQC actions you can perform while holding an enemy.
Ooh. Choke
You
throw.
even get enemy
Throw. Okay, so I can give you an idea. So here,
perform while
I know exactly what all these do.
holding an enemy.
So you can interrogate them. That'll give you either a launch code for a missile strike. It will tell you where the food supply storage is. It'll tell you where any unique items are. You can choke them. You can choke. Normally, he makes like a noise. He goes, but if you hold choke, it knocks them out. If you throw it, it knocks them out. You can use them as a shield if you get seen, and you can actually shoot and move around with the enemy in first person. And then you can just kill them. Slits his throat.
You even get enemy indicators that let you know which direction an enemy saw you from.
Yep.
Some might
That's
say
nice.
clutters the screen
I like that. I like that. That's nice.
a bit in what used to be a relatively minimalist UI, but there's no doubt it's helpful. You can also turn most of these off.
What is that there? Is that the camo index? That 15 next to Snake's name.
By piece and the options.
There's no way they moved the camo index to the middle of the screen, dude. It used to be perfect where it was at,
Also,
which was
a
either the
quick
top
hint,
right or top
since
left.
you
I
need
don't
to be
remember
within
which one.
CQC range to hold someone up from behind.
Yes, you
wait
can hold
until
them
you
up.
see the CQC on-screen prompt to aim your gun. That's a surefire way
That's
to know
nice.
you're in the right range.
I don't need that. That's for pussies.
In later releases of the
Dude,
original,
who recorded this video? This looks like dog shit. What did you even like? Did you record this on a PlayStation 1? How does it look this bad? Holy God. Yeah, there's the camo index right there.
game
Stop
like
right.
Subsistence, a controllable
Thought it
3D
was.
camera was added that you could switch back and forth from by clicking in the
So he
right
did
stick.
bring it up. He did bring it up.
A controllable 3D camera was added that you could switch back and forth
Yeah.
from by
So yeah, no, the original version of the game didn't have the fully mobile camera. You had to use whatever that was. That's why whenever he is, so like for example, the only way to see further ahead usually is if you were to get up against this tree right here, and you like put your back up against it, and you could press, I think it was like the R1 or L1 button depending on what side it was on, and he would like lean, and then you would see further down. Or you could just go in first person.
clicking in the right stick. In Delta, changing the camera means changing back to the legacy control scheme and reloading the last checkpoint, so you can't
That's so stupid.
do it on the fly. Thankfully, without spoiling, some set-piece areas later in the game that were clearly intended to have the original camera still do, even when playing in the new style.
What? Really?
In the updated Subsistence release of the original Snake Eater, there was a mode called Secret Theater on the second disc that let you watch a collection of joke movies and even a trailer for the then upcoming Metal Gear Solid 4. In Delta, the Demo Theater, which contains all the cutscenes.
Oh my god, they brought the demo theater back. Oh my god, dude, I haven't seen the demo theater in years. Yo, so, oh dude, that actually takes me back. So the demo theater, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 both had it whenever I got the box set for PlayStation 2. So, the Metal Gear Solid 2 had this in it, and the little pictures, they had water on top of them. So whenever you walked across them, they had like little footprints. And then whenever you walked off of them, the footprints would leave water tracks that would go up, like however far you went.
And the Secret Theater both unlock after clearing the story for the first time. But the Secret Theater videos need to be unlocked one by one by obtaining film reels from specific enemies, and a few from Subsistence have been removed.
I see it.
You can see which enemies have these reels on their person, and the only way to obtain them is to hold the enemy up, circle around to their front, and...
Bro, we gonna get all these bitches. We gonna get all these bitches. You just wait. You just fucking wait. Dude, we gonna get all this shit. You can also shoot their radio. You can shoot their radio. If you shoot this part right here, that's interesting. So, in the original Metal Gear Solid 3 game, this bit right here, if you shoot this, they can no longer call for backup. That's it. And if you knock them out, so if you knock an enemy out using the trank gun, they lose their memory. If you like punch them until they get knocked out and they have the stars above their head, if they get up, they're gonna know something's up. And like if they wake up and they're stars and they were stars, like dazed, when they wake up, they're automatically gonna go either into caution or alert if they see you. So what you can do is if you knock somebody out by punching them, you can shoot them with the trank gun and it brings out the Z's, and then when they wake up, they won't remember anything. But you can shoot this. I think you need to use a lethal weapon to shoot this. And if they see you and they try to call for backup, it won't work.
And the only way to obtain them is to hold the enemy up, circle around to their front, and point the gun at a sensitive area on their body so that they shake them loose. If you harm them or bump them in any way, even if you knock them out non-lethally, the reel will pop up into the air and break. Once you complete the game and unlock the Secret Theater, the list of films in the main menu or in the tip...
Oh, I don't like that at all. So you mean to tell me that if you knock them out, the film reel
Once
breaks?
You complete the game area on their body so that they shake them loose. If you harm the front, and point the gun at a sensitive area on their body so that they shake them loose. If you harm them or bump them in any way, even if you knock them out non-lethally, the reel will pop up into the air and break. Once you complete the game and unlock the Secret Theater, the list of films in the main menu or in the tips menu will tell you where every reel is, so don't worry about needing to get them on your first playthrough. Although if you really want to, you can check all their locations on our guide at IGN.com. No matter which version of Snake Eater you played in the past, it was always annoying to reload a save, often requiring you to exit all the way to the main menu. Now, if you accidentally kill someone in a non-lethal run, or you just get spotted and want to do away with it, you can load the most recent autosave very quickly, which will put you at the start of the area you last
Thank you so much, you get it! Oh, I see the frog! You see the frog? The little, the Kyotin frog is right there. It's right there. It's right there. Just gotta pop it. Pop! Pop! Gotta get that stealth camo. Pop! Okay.
Here's the process in the Master Collection version on Steam, released in 2023. I'll even speed it up to 200%.
Yeah, you have to go all the way back. Yep. Remember how much of a pain in the ass this was whenever I played it. And...
And here's the process in Delta on a PS5 Pro.
Oh, baby. Let's fucking go.
I can't tell you how many times I use this, and it might be my favorite change in the entire game.
Oh, let's go.
Those are some of the
I'm so hyped for this.
biggest changes in Metal Gear Solid Delta from the previous versions. For much, much more on Delta, keep it right here on IGN.
Speak! Speak! Here we go.
Metal Gear Solid Delta is not the first remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 in the
It's not. They so Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 both had an HD update. Funny enough, they actually have had Metal Gear Solid. Actually, they all have. So Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 both had a update to 3 times. Because they redid them twice. One was with the fixed camera, which was the original. One was with the updated camera. The second one was actually no, dude. They've been updated quite a bit because they did it for the PlayStation 3. I think they skipped the PlayStation 4 and went to the PlayStation 5. They've updated. They've redone these games quite a bit.
Since Metal Gear Solid 3 first Halo dropped into our hearts, Konami has reissued, remastered, and remade Hideo Kojima's tactical espionage opus more than
What the fuck is that? What is
reissued,
that?
remastered, and remade.
What is this? Is that on? Can you play this game on your cell phone? Metal Gear Solid 3 for cell phone. Oh, you can't natively play it. I feel like
Hideo
What is
Kojima's
this
tactical
on?
espionage opus more than a few times, adding to, subtracting from, and significantly changing
that's such a satisfying feeling whenever you see that dart stick into the side of their head, dude. It's so
Snake's
fun.
adventure in the non-existent jungle.
Oh yeah, you could get the crocodile helmet, and if you get the crocodile helmet, you can equip a certain type of camo. I think it's the log one or the tree bark, and then you can act like an alligator, and if you can lay flat, and if an enemy sees you, it's gonna shoot you.
Of the Soviet Union. You can dig up the raw PS2 original that hit 2004 like a tactical nuke, or feast on the more refined and rounded subsistence. You can enjoy it on the go, or accept some
I always thought
sacrifice.
it was called substance. It's subsistence. Man, I need to learn how to read back then.
This is to play it on the newest tech. And if none of those get you charged up, perhaps Delta
So that's what's fun about wearing the Soviet Union garb that you get
sacrifices to
from
play it on the new.
when you get the Soviet Union garb for knocking out Colonel Volgin, and you look at an enemy, they won't shoot at you. They won't shoot at you unless your back is turned.
Newest tech. And if none of those get you
If you're not wearing this when you do this sequence right here, you're not doing it right.
charged up, perhaps Delta will deliver the snake eater of your dreams.
It looks
There
so
are
good.
plenty of ways to enjoy one of the greatest games ever made, but what's the correct way to experience MGS3? Is authenticity the aim, or even
What's
what's
crazy
the correct? There are plenty
that it
of
took
ways
me
to
like
enjoy
50
one of the greatest
playthroughs.
games ever made, but what's the correct way?
Before I realized that you can dress up as so you get Raiden's mask at like the beginning of the game. Raiden was in Metal Gear Solid 2, but in this one they call him something else. But this is Raiden. I mean, I think it's a little Easter egg, but not really. You get his face mask, and you can put this uniform on, and you can put the mask on, and you can go into the first facility with minimal you really the only guys that will know that it's not real are the scientists.
To experience MGS3? Is authenticity the aim, or even achievable? Are we willing to lose some of its original truth in the name of enjoyability and accessibility? In short, what's the real Metal Gear Solid 3?
Whatever you want it to be, it's an experience.
Your mission, Jack, is to infiltrate the various versions of this virtual
3D Snake Eater. So I played this one. I actually had this exact copy of it. Came with this thick ass manual in it. I've played this one. I own this one. These two got stolen from me whenever I lived in a house. Whenever I was going through high school, the house got broken into and they took all my fucking games, dude. And I actually still own this one. Funny enough, we could play Peace Walker, but that piece of shit fucking splitter that I have, or that it's not a splitter, it's called something else. It won't work for my PlayStation 3. I think I have to get it back out and try to mess around with it and see if I can't get it to work.
masterpiece and explore the changes it's accumulated throughout the years, for better and for worse, beginning with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
That's right.
Try to remember some of the basics of life in 2004. You're wearing your Vote for Pedro shirt, rocking a Livestrong bracelet, and T9 texting your MySpace top 8 on the brand new
Bro, you guys remember the Razors? My mom had one of these stupid ass phones.
Moto Razr.
I don't know why so many people want these Razors to come back. They were so clunky. Well, they weren't clunky, but they were just weird. I felt like whenever I opened it up, I was going to break it.
Spider-Man 2 is at the movie theater, on your iPod mini, and inside your 6th generation console.
That's right, man. PlayStation 2 was king.
Other games vying for your attention in this absolutely stacked year include a squad of S-tier sequels like Half-Life 2, Halo 2, and GTA San Andreas.
Bro.
MGS3 hangs with them all, etched on this.
You know what's insane to me? It's sad that they used to make bangers. It was banger after banger after banger of game. Game after, like, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game. And then now, like 20 years later, they're having to remake games because they can't make any good ones anymore. They just can't do it. It's not possible for them. It's sad.
PS2 exclusive disc is an all-time classic. Hot on the
Yes, it
heels of
is.
the mind-shattering
Bro,
Metal
I can't tell you how many times I had to take out the toothpaste and sit there and try to fix a fucking a disc. Can't
Gear
tell
Solid
you.
2, Snake Eater is the
This is gonna
platonic
be a long ass video.
ideal of a prequel, an approachable action epic with excellent voice acting and intricate, quirky game systems.
Because that was the thing back then. Like, so whenever you got a game, when you got a PlayStation game, when you got a PlayStation 1 game, you had to put your, like, you didn't have this universal system of playing a first, like for example, Call of Duty. When you pick up one Call of Duty, you can play them all. But back then, if you picked up, for example, whenever I first started playing Metal Gear Solid 3, because that's where I started, I had a neighbor that bought that for me. He got me Metal Gear Solid 3, right? And every other game menu, you had to press X to access the menu features. And Metal Gear Solid 3, I think it was circle, which was back. It was back for every other menu I ever played on. If you press circle, you would go back out of the menu. But if you pressed X, you would go into the menu. For this game, it was circle. You had to learn the game's quirks. When you picked up a game for the first time, you had to learn its quirks. You had to. You had to learn its style of gameplay. You had to learn its story. You had to play the game on its field. And you don't get that anymore. It's a whole different ballgame of playing games now. I'd imagine a lot of older people that watch this, they're going to think back and they're going to be like, you know, he's right. Like when you picked up a Mortal Kombat game, every combos in it was different. It was never the same. The way the main story played out, it was always different. It was never the same. You could pick up a game in the same franchise, but it would be played completely different. And I think that's what a lot of games don't do nowadays, is instead of forcing you to go onto their battlefield, we're forcing them to come onto ours. Which is fine as long as it's a good game.
Pretty good.
It's the perfect on-ramp to the Kojima experience, and it easily deserves our contemporary score of 9.6. But the game is about all you
That's
get.
right. You were limited to buttons and controllers and how to use them. You were. You weren't able to open up a tab and look up an entire Let's Play on YouTube. Like, that wasn't an option.
Multiplayer and no bonus features beyond Snake vs. Monkey, a charming hide-and-seek minigame starring the titular.
That's right. So whenever you join, like Snake versus Monkey is you're supposed to get in and they give you you get this gun called the the EZ gun. It's EZ-gun, right? And this is what it looks like. And it's a yellow one as opposed to the black one. The black one you use in the main story, it has infinite ammo. So if you play in the easiest difficulty, you can use this gun. So this gun, it gives you a camo index, I think, of 80. So when you have this gun equipped, you can hardly be seen. And it's a trank gun, and no matter where you shoot the enemy at, it automatically puts them to sleep. So it's for the easiest difficulty. You can get it in the harder difficulties, but it does lower your score if you use it. But that's with any special item. But you get into this mode, and you're supposed to hunt down all these monkeys that are all over like certain map areas within a certain time limit. And if you do that, then you unlock camo.
Simians of Sony's Ape Escape series.
Yep.
Since the campaign itself is more than a hearty meal, no one much complained at the time, though there was some grumbling about the fixed overhead camera carried over from MGS2. A top-down view worked great for the bases, tankers, and struts of past Metal Gear games, but
It
a lot
did
had changed
not
since the
work.
heyday of 8-bit Japanese PCs.
It did not work for Metal Gear Solid 3 because the map areas were a little too big.
The first release of Snake Eater can be aggravating at times, and the cramped perspective doesn't take full advantage of the wide-open jungles of Selenoyarsk. Still, the PS2 original is the rare, unseasoned Snake Eater experience.
That's right.
There's nothing quite like sinking your teeth into the earliest draft of a masterpiece.
That's
it doesn't
right.
get more authentic than this flawed but foundational text from which all MGS3 is derived.
And that was the thing with a lot of PlayStation games, like PlayStation 2 era games, is they were like jank as shit, dude. They were janky. But instead of sitting there complaining about it, you learned how to work with the jank and you mastered it. That's how you became really good at games. You don't get that anymore. Like, these were back when games, whenever they released, they were done. They didn't sit here and do like 60 updates on the game. It was done.
It only took a few months for Kojima and Konami to start tinkering with the game. Like MGS2 before it, the PAL version of Snake Eater includes a boss rush mode, cutscene theater, and the European extreme difficulty level.
That's right, boys. We beat that on stream. We did it.
Perhaps one of the highest...
It's easy. It's actually really easy. In my opinion, I feel like the European extreme is supposed to be the way the game is played. Because, like, if you get seen, you automatically die. And if you're supposed to be tactical espionage, if you get found out, they're gonna kill you. Like,
ever bestowed upon a continent. The game itself was substantially unaltered, but it would see substantial changes in MGS3 Subsistence.
Spread your wings and fly. God be with you.
The new and improved version of Snake Eater didn't come as a surprise since both prior MGS titles...
Not a lot of people know this, but if you press and hold the square button when you're running, he'll automatically pull up the gun, and then you can just press and release, and he'll shoot and kill, or shoot and stun whoever is in it, because it like has an auto lock-on system.
Were followed by revised expansions. Metal Gear Solid Integral included an entire disc of VR missions, a playable...
Bro, those VR missions, they go forever. I think there's like over 300 missions that are VR. And like each character, like for example, Metal Gear Solid 2, you could play as Pliskin, which is Snake. You can play as Raiden, and then you can play as the Ninja. And they have like almost 300 missions apiece. It's ridiculous. I hope they bring it back.
First-person view, and a bizarre photo shoot mode that has since been reborn in Death Stranding 2. MGS2 Substance was flush with bonus content, including non-canon, largely silly Snake Tales to appease the angry
That's right,
anti-Raiden
Snake
army.
Tales.
The game itself received lots of subtle refinements, though nothing near the extent of MGS3. With MGS3 Subsistence, the Snake Eater experience is now composed of double discs, with a second DVD bursting with bonus material, as well as...
Oh my god, you remember the fucking card slot? You could have like a card that went to the game. That's crazy.
Reports of the original MSX games, including the first official localization of the magnificent Metal Gear 2. And if that wasn't enough bang for your buck, the so-called Persistence disc also includes a full-fledged online multiplayer mode, Metal Gear Online.
I never played that. From what I understand, they are bringing back Metal Gear Online. I don't think we're gonna touch it, if I'm being honest.
Other MGS games, including Delta, would offer their own spin on the PvP formula, but this is the only release of MGS3 that includes it, though the servers have been dark since 2007. Goodies aside, it's the massive change to gameplay that makes Subsistence such a big deal. It's why the re-release has been the blueprint for all future...
So what he's using, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you get the Raiden's mask and you get their uniform, which I think you start with it, you can get the SIG spray and you can just run around the room and like spray them out. You can knock them out with the SIG spray.
Iterations of the title, and it's a big enough deal.
And you want to do that because they're the only ones that know that you're not a real scientist.
Could plausibly argue that Subsistence is a remake unto it.
Oh, not a lot of people know this.
And it's a big enough deal that one could plausibly...
You see this button here? This triggers an alarm. You could actually walk over and press that. You can just do that. Because why not? You can literally just walk over and press this button and trigger an alarm.
Argue that Subsistence is a remake unto itself. Subsistence incorporates a brand new player-controlled third-person camera system, essentially a prototype borrowed from the then-in-development Metal Gear Solid 4, and a huge improvement in terms of user experience. The game now allows you to peek around corners and scope out your surroundings without the tedium of popping into first person. The old way is still available as an option, though not a very appetizing one.
Yeah, like back then, whenever you bought a game, you had to learn everything. You had to learn everything from scratch. You couldn't just go into a computer and figure it out.
Even if
Like, you
some
had
of
to
the
figure it out
experience
yourself.
is lost in the transition. The new POV makes the game slightly easier, though nowhere near the extent to which Twin Snakes trivialized the halls of Shadow Moses.
What he's doing there, whenever he keeps zooming in and out, so in this game, if you equip and unequip a weapon, if you unequip and then re-equip a weapon, it automatically reloads the bullet. So if you could just sit there and spam the R2 button and then the shoot button, you could pretty much infinitely shoot. You saw me do that quite a bit whenever it came to the Shagohod, and so it was the Shagohod. I was using the rocket launcher. I was just spamming the unequip and re-equip button.
Some cinematic set pieces originally contained bespoke camera shots and movements that go unseen with the new system. They're still there, but you'd have to know about them to switch over beforehand. Finally, the wide-open Soviet jungle loses just a little magic when the camera is unshackled. Without the curated, limited angles of vanilla Snake Eater, it's easier to see past the illusion of a sprawling wilderness and recognize the region for what it actually is, a series of surprisingly small rooms connected by loading.
It's a very, 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 very small roomed game. That's why I feel like the compass is very unnecessary, because you could just explore the maps. They're so small. And I look, I know that the remake is going to be really good, but you can't hide how small the maps are. They're tiny.
Screens. Issues aside, the new camera makes Subsistence a strong candidate for the definitive version of MGS3. It's almost purely additive, and unlike future releases, it's content complete. Our more granular review scale of the era.
So like right there, that guy would have been knocked out, but if you dart him with the MK22 or M2, it's the M2 something, the Z's pop up above his head and he won't remember that he got knocked out. But if you leave the spinning stars and he wakes up, he's going to automatically go into the caution phase.
Like future releases, it's content complete. Our more granular review scale of the era deemed the upgrade worth 2 whole tenths of a point, and many others would agree that it's the better game over the original. But is it the same game?
What do you mean?
The enhanced re-release is a Kojima tradition at this point. Even Death Stranding has a director's cut, although Kojima himself disagrees with that label. He prefers the term Director's Plus. His expansions exist to supplement the original, not cast shade on or replace them, even though in several cases the vanilla versions are no longer commercially available. Subsistence is the smoothest way to play MGS3, and it's probably the camera the game should have shipped with. The thing is, it didn't. The first release of Snake Eater remains Kojima's uncompromised vision, and so does Subsistence. It's up to you if you want to endure an aggravating camera in the pursuit of historicity, sans the temptation to switch to the better system.
What is this guy doing?
Subsistence remained the final word on MGS3 for 5 years, until another version brought Snake Eater into a new generation. Well, most of it anyway.
From what I understand, every time they remade the game, like whenever they added the camera and released it as a new version of the game, they updated the graphics ever so slightly. So if it wasn't HD, it would be HD. Yeah, like that.
The Metal Gear Solid HD collection was released in November of 2011.
That was the collection that I had. I ended up getting that, and it was like marked down like crazy. Yeah, I think the whole thing was like $20. It was great.
The same day as Modern Warfare 3, making for one interesting midnight at GameStop. The collection contains updated ports of MGS2 and 3, plus a brand new big screen version of the PSP exclusive Peace Walker.
Peace Walker is so good. It pains me that I am unable to get the PlayStation 3 to cooperate. Peace Walker definitely falls in the lines of Metal Gear Solid like it as like the overarching trilogy. In fact, whenever I saw Metal Gear Solid Delta, I saw the hidden film reels that they had. I noticed that it had a scene from Die Hard, and I was like, no way.
Inglorious.
If I'm not mistaken, that's from Peace Walker.
20p. Snake Eater HD is based on subsistence, incorporating the free camera while offering higher resolution, native 16:9 widescreen support, and 60 frames per second performance. The HD collection was also the first opportunity for Xbox owners to experience MGS3, although that came with a massive caveat. Back in the optimistic early years of the millennium, console manufacturers went kinda crazy with controllers. It was a big period of innovation, leading to the abandonment of wires, built-in rumble, buttons shaped like beans, and controllers modeled after TV remotes and chainsaws. Pressure-sensitive buttons were an evolutionary dead end of this era. In addition to analog sticks and triggers, the DualShock 2, 3, and original Xbox controllers all utilized—
Man, I can't tell you how many of those DualShock 2s that I broke. Just from, like, overuse. The thumbsticks on those DualShock 2s were garbage, dude. Like, oh my god, they were garbage. I remember at one point, the bottom R2 and L2 buttons fell out, and the thumbstick, like, you see how it's got the touchpad on top? So, like, that would move separately. Like, so, like, if this is the touchpad, and this is the stick, whenever I would do, like, it was weird because usually whenever you pull the thumbstick to the left, it's supposed to do this, right? Whenever my sticks were so fucked up that whenever I would turn it to do this, it would just do this. The thumbstick pad would stay straight. I don't even know how that happened.
Face buttons.
I had tape holding in the R2 and L2 buttons, and I tell you, like, this thing was makeshift. It was held together with hope.
Responded to pressure, meaning instead of a simple on-off state, they can report how hard they're pushed. Not many games took advantage of this feature, but Kojima, the man who turned the sun itself into a game peripheral, gleefully stitched pressure sensitivity into the very fabric of MGS2 and 3.
To raise your weapon, lightly press the designated weapon button. Let go to lower your gun without raising the alarm or spending silencer health. Push it all the way in to pull the trigger.
With today's muscle memory, it's kind of jarring to not touch the shoulder buttons while handling an in-game firearm, but it works. MGS3's focus on close quarters combat, or CQC, adds the wrinkle of questioning enemies at the end of Snake's blade, where one slip of the thumb can turn interrogation into exsanguination. The slightest difference of pressure—
If you, that is true, he's right. So whenever you're holding up an enemy, I think it's circle, you walk up behind them and hold them. If you press and hold it, you could snap their neck by accident. You have to be very careful. Like, if you, like, press it just too hard, you can kill somebody by accident. It happens quite a bit. It took me a long time to get used to it.
All that stands between snagging some shiny new dog tags or splattering Gru guts on your camo.
In Metal Gear Solid 2, whenever you held up enemies, you got dog tags.
And losing the precious pigeon rake. The pressure-sensitive controls can be inelegant at times, but they're how the game was meant to be played.
So, like, you see how he's moving and his gun's locked on? So that's that moving feature that I was telling you about, where you can press and hold square and you can move. But here's the problem that I had with that feature, is if you press and hold square and you release the button, he automatically shoots the guy. So if you have a lethal weapon, which typically you have to have a lethal weapon if you want to hold them up, you don't have to have a lethal weapon to initially hold them up, but if you have them on the ground and the enemy knows that it's a dart gun, they're more likely to attack you.
A uniquely—
Which, by the way, if you hold them up, if you can hold them up if they're standing up, if they're doing this, they'll put their hands up if they're standing up. Typically, I try to grab them and throw them on the ground and hold them up, because if they're standing here, they can knife you and then they run away. But if they're on the ground with their hands behind their head, you can run all over the map and you'll be fine.
Tactile, immersive—
Unless you get seen. If you get seen, then they all stand up.
Mechanic that might be forever lost to history. The PS3 version of MGS3 HD is the last release of the game to support pressure sensitivity. Starting with the Xbox 360 release of the HD collection, Snake Eater has replaced it with a clumsy but functional scheme that involves clicking sticks, because today's controllers are no longer capable of this level of input. Analog face buttons are expensive, and the general apathy toward them led console manufacturers to dump them like a sack of spoiled tree frogs with the 7th generation. Today's controllers are in their haptics and internal microphone eras, and no one has shown much interest in reviving pressure controls. Not a lot can be done about an industry-wide decision to drop a feature, but it does mean we might never get a chance to experience the game like this again. Even emulation requires original, aging analog hardware to enjoy Snake Eater as it was intended. You really can't know what it's like unless you've actually felt it.
Yeah.
The HD collection is also the first release of MGS3 to remove content from the game. Every single bonus feature from Subsistence is absent, save for the 8-bit Metal Gears. Metal Gear Online is gone, and so is Snake vs. Monkey, a component of Snake Eater since its first printing in 2004. Sony didn't want their Ape Escape on other platforms, and as of Delta, they still don't. But we'll get to Konami's clever compromise soon. The HD collection replaced the lethargic frame rate and hazy PS2 sheen of Subsistence with smooth performance and HD clarity. Some cutscenes don't play super well with widescreen, and some visual effects are lost in translation, but it suits its purpose as a solid, adaptable, almost archival edition of MGS3. It's just a shame that Guy Savage didn't make the cut. In previous releases, after
So it's actually a demo. So the scene where you get locked in the cell after you get caught by Colonel Volgan. If you fall asleep or you go to sleep for too long or you wait too long or however you sleep, I don't remember how you sleep. You end up going to sleep and then you wake up in a demo that's a hack and slash. It's kind of fun. It's like towards the end of the game, but it's still really cool.
Snake is captured and imprisoned deep within the Fortress Groznygrad. Our now cyclopic hero has the option to call paramedic and save his game. This naturally sparks a discussion about Bram Stoker's Dracula. Snake falls asleep, and when the player loads the save again, they find themselves in a
you have to
different video game.
Okay, just let me know if you start having nightmares about Dracula.
Yep, here you go. This is the demo. At least I think it was supposed to be a demo.
Without any explanation, we are tossed into a bare-bones, black-and-white
I actually discovered this by accident.
Sequence in control of a hook sword-wielding anime hunk. There's a textured warehouse environment, a horde of zombies with rudimentary AI, and even a basic heating-up mechanic. But the action ends after just a few minutes of mayhem, and Snake Eater returns to your regularly scheduled adventure. Snake's nightmare, known as the Guy Savage sequence, is Kojima's trademark fourth-wall trolling at its finest. It was intended as a teaser for another game the team had been kicking around at the time, using a battle system borrowed from the never-released Zone of the Enders 3. But beginning with the HD collection, Guy Savage has been MIA from MGS3. We don't really know why. Maybe the separate game engine proved too laborious to port. Perhaps Konami doesn't want the hassle of licensing old concepts for a canceled game. For whatever reason, we must endure the seemingly permanent loss.
The good news is that he got his hack and slash with Metal Gear Rising
of Guy Savage, along with the related codec banter from your kooky crew of future global authoritarian overlords. Cutting an entirely missable non-sequitur fantasy sequence isn't the end of the world, but Snake Eater is less complete without it. Imagine if Psycho Mantis no longer talked your ear off about Suikoden, or MGS4 didn't open with surreal live-action in-universe TV shows. It's these
I remember that. Yeah, so Metal Gear Solid 4, whenever you, when you start the game, and even in certain parts throughout the chapters, you get commercials to like this crazy stuff. You get like the weirdest like live action commercials.
Full winking moments of weirdness that make Kojima games so special, and it would sincerely be a shame if Guy Savage has joined the likes of PT, Skateboarding Snake, and Sam Bridges Slammin' Monsties in the catalog of Kojima content that we may never see again. Bridges Slammin' Savage has joined the likes of PT, Skateboarding Snake, and Sam Bridges Slammin' Monsties in the catalog of Kojima content.
Yes, in the original version of the game for Death Stranding, it wasn't like this weird energy drink, it was Monster. It was actually Monster energy drink. That's what I was saying whenever we played it.
That we may never see again. The MGS3 HD port was carried forward into the currently available Master Collection, meaning it's the only way to legally purchase and play the original Snake Eater on modern hardware. For that reason alone, we would easily recommend it, especially since the game was actually delisted for a while over rights issues surrounding stock footage. The best version of any game is the one you can actually play, after all, and unlike other Metal Gear titles stuck in limbo, you can own and run this extremely solid version of Snake Eater on pretty much anything. It's not the same game that was released in 2000.
That's what really sucks, is that they haven't touched Metal Gear Solid 4, and it's definitely... It's not like Phantom Pain. It belongs in the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I don't understand why they haven't remastered it.
4, but until Delta, it's all we've got. There's one more iteration of Snake Eater to talk about before we reach the current day, though, and it's one of the most interesting of all.
What is this? This looks awful. They really released this on a handheld? How's it look this bad? You can get it for the PlayStation Vita, and it looked better than this.
Until the Switch, there's never been a straight-up port of the core MGS trilogy to a Nintendo platform. Metal Gear is no stranger to the company, but whenever the series appears on Nintendo hardware, there's usually some sort of twist. The Game Boy Color received an excellent 2D throwback title, the GameCube enjoyed the extremely extra Twin Snakes remake, and Snake himself dukes it out with the Super Smash Bros. On the regular. Even the NES port of the first Metal Gear game was a bespoke, albeit wildly inferior version that spawned a Nintendo-exclusive sequel without Kojima's blessing, prompting him to continue the series purely out of spite. The Nintendo 3DS port of Snake Eater is no exception to this trend.
The map is just automatically up. That is weird. MK22.
Snake Eater 3D isn't simply a portable port of the PS2 title, it's more like a full-fledged remake. Rather than cram the HD edition onto a cartridge, Snake Eater 3D applies the art, sound, and content of MGS3 to the more modern, portable first engine of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
I see that, yeah, because it's got the blue circle whenever you shoot somebody with the dart, and I'd imagine it has a red circle whenever you kill somebody, right?
Differences are subtle, but quite clear
look at
in
that.
your hands. The color scheme and character models are slightly altered, and new button prompts demystify the confusing CQC mechanics. The game takes full advantage of the 3DS's hardware, using the onboard camera to create your own photo camo, while the secondary touchscreen does wonders for MGS3's notoriously convoluted menu system. The real giveaway that Snake Eater 3D is built on the bones of Peace Walker is the new movement and aiming system. Like in Peace Walker and MGS4 before it, Snake can now quickly scamper across the jungle floor via crouch walking, eliminating the need for slow crawling and tedious tiptoeing in the original versions. Gone are the thumb-twisting weapon controls, replaced by a conventional over-the-shoulder third-person aiming system, complete with modern aim with the left trigger, shoot with the right scheme. The easier
but you would be surprised at how useful it is to crouch walk to get to an enemy, because you could do it quietly. If you played the Metal Gear Solid 3 version, like the old school version that doesn't have the new crouch walk system, it's actually kind of hard because you have to barely press. Usually you have to use the D-pad for it, but you would barely press the D-pad button in a direction you wanted to go, and it would usually take a little bit for you to get there, and that's if the enemy doesn't turn around and spot you. But if you move too fast, they'd hear your footprints.
ability to move while aiming gives Snake far more mobility options during combat. That freedom, combined with the rather exploitable create your own camo feature, on top of the free camera from Subsistence, makes Snake Eater 3D the easiest iteration of MGS3, though it's far from the most pleasant to play. The frame rate is abysmal, the resolution is minuscule, and good luck stopping the Shagohod without a Circle Pad Pro.
That's right. Yeah, because oh god.
The distinct game feel and quality of life improvements can't really make up for these massive downsides. Still, Snake Eater 3D
you couldn't quick equip.
is sui generis. There's no other version quite like it, and it's worth experiencing, but mostly as a curiosity, provided you have access to a 3DS with 2 sticks. Besides, most of its better features have been incorporated into our final and most recent incarnation of MGS3, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Bro, that song is so
Delta
popular.
actually has a
So
lot in
good.
common with Snake Eater 3D. It too grafts the story and gameplay of MGS3 onto a brand new engine, in this case Unreal 5, with the aim of updating but strictly adhering to the classic content. The Peace Walker style controls carry over from the 3DS, including crouch walking and third-person shooting. Delta also borrows from the godlike traversal of Metal Gear Solid 5 for some slick new additions to Snake's moveset. Although this time around, the developers are directly addressing the balance changes by tuning up the enemy difficulty in response. Snake's camouflage is now directly impacted by the environment around him, with a coat of mud or refreshing bloodbath helping Snake stay hidden. The clunky healing system of the original is now enhanced by wounds and scarring that persist throughout the game, as does damage to Snake's drip. The UI has been streamlined, and the graphics are given a gorgeous, if somewhat expected, photorealistic shine. But if you'd prefer a more vintage experience, the original color filters and fixed camera controls are available courtesy of a legacy mode. Like Snake Eater 3D, Delta leaves the essential aspects of the game intact and brings the gameplay up to par with the series' evolution. While the original Snake Eater slithered into our hearts via a 4GB DVD, Delta weighs in at an eye-popping 100 gigabytes of Metal Gear greatness. Most of that can be
I know I had to delete a few games in order to download it.
attributed to high-resolution Unreal Engine assets, but Delta is also packed with bonus features both new and surprisingly old. Secret Theater has returned, while the multiplayer Fox Hunt mode serves as a spiritual successor to the dearly missed Metal Gear Online. Even Snake vs. Monkey has reared its siren-toting head once more, though only on the PlayStation and Steam versions. Thankfully,
That's funny.
Xbox players won't be left out this time. In place of Sony's Ape IP, Konami is offering an exclusive Snake vs. Bomberman mode. We're just one bad dream away from having quite possibly the most complete package of MGS3 ever.
What the hell? That looks like Nintendo blocks.
20 years from now, when someone asks which version of MGS3 to play, will the overwhelming consensus be just play Delta? Some fans are relieved that Delta's ambitions are limited to a remaster, sticking to the original design, script, and
I honestly don't think I'd have been mad if they had added more levels into it. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to see a few things added to Metal Gear Solid Delta. I want more maps, more mobs. I would like to see a randomizer implemented for Metal Gear Solid 3. So, like, if you walked through one map area, you would end up in a different map area altogether. So you never know what you're going to get. And I would like to see enemy randomization where they could possibly be. You know, don't always put them in the same spot when you go through the map areas.
Hall of Fame voice acting of a singular artistic achievement. Others are disappointed that it's not a full-on reimagining of the scenario a la the Resident Evil remakes or Konami's own Silent Hill 2, bemoaning the dated...
I don't think that if they replaced or remade the story and altered it, I don't think that people would have been okay with that at all. I think they played the safe card.
Environments and annoying interstitial screens that come with...
I feel like if they added a randomizer mode with trophies that show that you beat it, I feel like that would add more replayability. Hell, not even just a randomizer mode. If they added like a style of roguelike to the game itself after you beat the game, to where you can like toggle it on and off, I bet that would also add quite a bit
classic
to it.
territory. Can Delta become the definitive form of Snake Eater, or will there still be a place for the more awkward, idiosyncratic vintage versions? If the 2004 release will always be the purest incarnation and Subsistence holds on to its title as the best, how will history look upon Delta? Metal Gear Solid is famous for its complicated story, but ultimately, it's actually quite simple. The conflict at the heart of the series revolves around the will of the boss, the greatest soldier in history who sacrificed everything for her country and left behind a vision of a better world. The warriors who came after her spent their lives fighting and killing each other over their own clashing interpretations of the boss's dream. In the end, it's the humble, doomed clone Solid Snake who finally unlocks the meaning of her will. Freedom. The freedom achieved by respecting the will of others. The freedom to fight for causes you believe in. And the freedom not to fight at all. The truth is, there is no correct way to play Metal Gear Solid 3. There's no real Snake Eater.
He's right, though. You can go through and kill everybody if you wanted. You're just gonna get a low score. You can play it however you like. You can go through and get seen by every guard and just run past them and go to the next area. You could do that all you want.
That obviates all the others. We have the liberty to choose the version that speaks to us the most, whether we desire.
Yeah, you can go through and just kill everybody. If that's what you wanted, you can go through guns blazing and just kill everybody.
Nostalgic trip to the days of Shrek 2 and The Simple Life, the jam-packed, fully loaded final form of Hideo Kojima firing on all cylinders, or a fresh and gorgeous, fun and accessible new coat of paint that reminds us just how timeless this game truly is. So what's your preferred version of Snake Eater? Are you a PS2 purist, or do you embrace the widescreen wonder of the HD version? Is anyone willing to go to bat for the Patchy slot machine? Let us know in the comments below, and stay.
Hell no. I look forward to playing this tomorrow. Here we go.
Despite the massive hype for Silent Hill F, I think it's pretty safe to say that longtime series fans have been a little bit concerned about what's been perceived to be a shift in combat styles towards something a little...
I mean, I don't know how. It's got the same style of, it's got the pipe, right?
A bit more Souls-like. In order to calm those fears, I decided to speak to series producer Okamoto.
It has difficulty. It's not a Souls-like. For any of those that are concerned about the new, if anything seems like a Souls-like, the only thing that you can tell if it's a Souls-like or not is if it has a difficulty. If it has a difficulty setting or a mode, then it's not a Souls-like.
And director Al Yang to find out exactly how the combat works.
Silent Hill 2 had a difficulty. It had several. Silent Hill F has a news Souls-like inspired combat system. Could you explain to us?
So this is one of the things that we see the term Souls-like being thrown around on the internet quite a bit. And I think it's a label that's a little bit disingenuous right now. So I think a lot of modern players, they'll see...
I don't like that everyone's trying to say that these live action games, I know Silent Hill isn't one of them, but they're trying to say that every live action game is a Souls-like. You have to understand, Souls-like is a very, very, very specific typing of game. It can't have difficulty selectors. It has to have a leveling system. It has to have some form of character creator, even though some of them don't. I'll admit that some of the Souls-likes don't have a character creator. It has to be difficult, but also rewarding, and a lot of Souls-likes themselves don't seem to understand that. There's quite a few that have launched that have been so damn hard that nobody wants to play them. Like, even Elden Ring, their DLC was a good example of that. But, like, you have to be in a specific category for it to be a Souls-like. Like, I don't think you understand how down path you have to be.
Like, oh, there's a stamina meter, there's a dodge, and they're like, okay, it's a Souls-like. But to be very honest...
But, like, Silent Hill 2 had a dodge. No, it didn't have a stamina meter, but
A lot of these things we actually pulled from classic Silent Hill titles. So if you look at Silent Hill 4, there's a charge meter in there for your attacks, kind of like our focus meter. And then for even Silent Hill 3, there's a stamina meter. You see it later on, but these things aren't new and exclusive to Souls-like games. They've been part of action horror games for a very, very long time.
Exactly. Like, I guess I should have said that. It's like they've been around since before the original Dark Souls. Not Silent Hill, but these mechanics. It's not... You can't say that every game that has a stamina bar is a Souls-like. Just like you can't say that every game that doesn't have a difficulty slider is a Souls-like. Like, some games, they don't want to have a difficulty slider, they want to have level-based areas.
And for us, we think it's a label that if you have these things, you're labeled as a Souls-like, and we'd like to reiterate that we are an action horror game, but we are not a Souls-like.
There you go. Why has Silent Hill F taken this new approach with the combat? Why not? That's like the best part about remaking a game is like having a new game come out is why stick to the same thing? Be free with it. Have an adventure. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you learn.
When we're looking at Silent Hill F, this is the first Silent Hill title for a very long time. And of course, we wanted to respect the older fans out there, but also kind of bring in kind of fresh blood, maybe people who haven't played Silent Hill. And then because of this, we spent a lot of time kind of looking at the classic titles and be like, okay, what's the gameplay that people could expect here? But what's also some gameplay that newer fans might be interested in? And one of the things we really settled on is Silent Hill 4 had a very extensive combat system that was also very melee focused. So from here, we basically said, okay, if we're going to do...
I'm not trying to poop on Silent Hill 2 Remake, but it was a little clunky. I kind of wish that it wasn't as clunky. I hope it looks like this is going to be just as clunky, but we'll see.
This, we still have to have all the trademarks of classic kind of a horror gaming, traditional horror gaming combat. So there's some things that are very interesting and very similar, which is...
What I really, really didn't like about Silent Hill 2 Remake was that anytime I went to a secret area, it felt like I was being punished for any, like, extra goodies that I was able to find. Like, I would find some goodies, and then I would just get pummeled with mobs. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Like, distance. If you are closer to someone in a traditional horror game with guns, then it means it's more dangerous, you know? And then because of that, you have things like kind of aiming, your crosshairs, they have to kind of go in. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of weight. It slows down the entire pacing of the game. So because we settled on melee combat, because we wanted to kind of go in a fresh direction, we had to take a lot of these core systems that
so this is completely melee combat. Interesting. Okay.
Pace that regulated combat in traditional horror games and then find an analogy for them in our title. So again, aiming and then crosshairs going down is kind of like our focus meter.
Does Ankara's size play into the way combat works at all?
Again, there is precedence for this. If you look back to Silent Hill 3, Heather, again, not the biggest character out there, not full of muscles, kind of deal. So again, we look to her for a lot of
This
inspiration.
looks like a high school student, so you know there's probably going to be a lot of things that are going to play into her just not being able to do certain things.
And on the combat side, you'll notice we focused on two major things. One is that you don't feel like a superhero. There's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of combat, but it shouldn't feel like you're just one-shotting everything. You're just crazy overpowered. Honestly, it's always a fight for survival. It's tense. You have to pick your fights very carefully because you have limited resources here. And at the same time, we've took a lot of effort in designing her emotions, all the animations. So it's like she's struggling. These are heavy weapons. She's flailing wildly. It's less about skill and more about survival. And I hope the players can kind of see that through the way that she acts and then her emotions.
What would you say to fans who would prefer a more traditional Silent Hill approach to the game? That seems to be like the go-to for a lot of these people. It's like tradition, tradition, tradition.
So for those types of players, we have the type of experience in the form of a difficulty setting called story mode. So for players
So yeah, it has a difficulty. So there you
who
go.
want that type of
Okay, so that way, if you guys are little pussies, then you can play it in the easiest difficulty.
experience, we would like to recommend the story mode difficulty.
There you go. It sounds like a lot of people are just scared that it's going to be too hard. How does the sanity system work, and what are the effects when Hanako's sanity runs out? I think the sanity is the flowers.
So again, for the sanity system, this is one of the support mechanics for the
Yes,
game.
sir.
And as we said before, we want to put the game in a more action-based focus, but again, we don't want to alienate kind of classic Silent Hill players or players who might not be as familiar with action games. So sanity system, what it allows you to do is, for instance, there are counters in the game and you have to kind of grab the right timing for it. But by expending this resource, it kind of slows everything down. It slows the pace of the game down so that players are able to easier grasp this thing or execute stronger moves. So a good analogy is in classic traditional range-based horror games, you have to wait for the crosshair to shrink before you get maximum damage, and again that slows the pacing of the game down. For us, the focus is kind of the same deal with using the sanity system. It's like, okay, I'm really trying to pay attention to the monster here. Until my gauge fills up, I can unleash a stronger, like a headshot attack. But in the middle, if they decide to attack me, then I have a much stronger window to basically counter back. So it's there to really regulate the pace of the gameplay and to kind of help the player defeat combat easier.
It's got my home too.
So it's like a slow-mo system.
Everything's changed.
What traditional Silent Hill gameplay elements can we expect to see?
So the types of elements that longtime fans can expect from this game are the types of elements that you would expect from traditional Silent Hill games, like the environments, the graphics, the storytelling. All of those traditional elements, players can expect to find those. And for this game, the core aspect of the game's narrative focuses around the protagonist Hinako and her struggles of trying to fight the societal oppression that women face. So for this game, players can follow her journey and follow along her path towards trying to fight back against such types of suppression. So from there, yes, again, if you try out the story mode, you'll be able to follow her journey very much up close.
Because it's the newest game in a very long kind of running series, and it's been a bit of a hiatus. For us, the most important things is to go back and grab the atmosphere, like that classic tension and dread, the kind of not knowing what's around the corner. Like, I think for us, the atmosphere in Silent Hill is something very unique that no other game has, so we spend a lot of time
I'm so curious to know what kind of music they're going to use for this game. Like, I'm not going to lie, the music in Silent Hill 2 Remake really got to me quite a bit, like, emotionally. So I'm very curious to see what kind of music they're going to use in a game like this.
sure that fans would kind of recognize this, not just from the gameplay, but also from, there's some story deep cuts I think some longtime fans might pick up on and enjoy. But then just like in the beginning of the game, as you're walking down the hill, the empty kind of town might seem familiar to some longtime fans. So some things aren't very direct, for instance, but we try to make a lot of things in the game that would feel at home to a lot of these longtime fans.
Interesting.
With that in mind, today's a bit too extraordinary.
Yes, Silent Hill Elf will be coming out in September 25th on the Xbox platforms, PS5, Steam, Epic Store, and Microsoft Windows.
Please. Just die.
Jesus. Oh yeah, we're probably going to play this
Massive
too.
thanks there to Okamoto.
That's kind of the reason why we just been doing the reaction stuff, because I don't want to force myself to play games if there's just nothing to play. And like the Mafia game looked okay, but I just don't think that it would be kind of my style of game.
San and Al Yang for answering my questions. Now, one thing I want to bring up is something they told me off camera, and that is that the gameplay of Silent Hill F is actually cyclical, and that there are multiple endings that you can unlock through repeated play.
That's
and
crazy.
also that as you play, you can unlock new skills and strengths for Hinako. That means if you start on story difficulty and then play on harder difficulties, you'll have experience from the playtime before, and Hinako will be slightly stronger than before. This is a game that's meant to be replayed multiple times, so there is no shame in starting the game on story mode, experiencing that classic Silent Hill story, and then going in and experiencing some of that harder combat. Anyway,
interesting.
Hopefully this has calmed your fears a little bit, but for more about Silent Hill...
Was that it? I think that might finally be it. Let me check PlayStation right quick. Man, they're really pushing the Silk song. The hell is this? Ew. I just don't think this game's going to be very good. I mean, it might be good, but like just the flow of the company now, I just... Oof, man.
Yo, this goes to your age, this goes to
This looks interesting.
Lacey, this goes to fucking Ron and Kai. Nobody cares about the Clip Farm Clankers. They have no...
Agent says the referee who was in the ring during Roger Jackson's fight.
No weight, they have no power. They're dumb. People that comment on their shit are dumb. They're clankers. They don't watch streams. They don't consume content. They don't do it.
Yeah, I kind of get what he's coming
Nothing
from.
for nobody.
I'm not sure what this is about.
You don't have to explain it or it's not business. About. No, guys, I'm not. Who are you talking to? You're talking to clankers.
So this is kind of crazy. So we have this pulled up. We're gonna watch it. Oh, okay, cool. That's also we're just gonna watch Charlie's version. Oh wait, there's a Helldivers thing. Let's see. Got a few things here. Okay, here's that Helldivers trailer. Of course, it's Xbox. Oh no, it's PlayStation as well.
The Galactic War. Your chance to serve.
If Sony hadn't done its BS with the PC, forcing people to log in, because the big thing was that Helldivers was doing fantastic, and then Sony forced the people that had PC to log into a Sony account, and then the problem with that is that some countries Sony is banned. So people who had bought the game and were playing it were no longer able to play it. They fixed it, but like
and to sacrifice for a freer tomorrow. Were you there when we conquered the creek?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you there when we cleansed the super colony?
I was there!
Were you there when we set our citizens free?
I was there.
Jesus.
They were there! Were you?
Because the trailers were always so good. The people were so excited when this game originally came out.
Helldivers across the galaxy
I don't think I've heard one person say they did not like this game.
have been fighting the fight of freedom, using the latest advanced weaponry to spread our message of peace. But the war effort needs your effort. With Liberty's enemies closing in from every front, and death and destruction lurking behind every corner, there's never been a better time to become a Helldiver. We have the technology. We have the
This reminds me of the Starship Troopers commercials that they would play, or the trailers they would play that would be like the "We Need You" commercials, you know?
All we need is you. So next time we defend freedom, be there. Next time we kill our enemies without hesitation, be there. Next time we are there, be there. Be part of an elite fighting force and protect the galaxy.
It's kind of crazy how quirky this game is, because you could accidentally kill your own teammates. You can die if something blows up. Like, I think the quirkiness of it would be something that I would like quite a bit. I just don't want to play the game.
Managed democracy. Join the Helldivers.
It's funny. It's funny, dude. Alright, so check out Bat and Squatch. Leave them a like button, man. Oh, this was a day ago? I don't know if I want to react to this quite yet. I didn't realize this was so new. Hold on, let's go and find a video that isn't so new. I don't want them to feel like I'm taking their viewers or whatever. Let me see. Hold on. Nope, I don't want the shorts. Yeah, this one was 2 weeks ago. Bat and Squatch versus
stuck in the
Planet of
future.
Apes. There we go. So check out Bat and Squatch on YouTube. I'm gonna throw that video a like.
The apes run the place, and somehow Bigfoot...
Bat and Squatch, if you want me to take this stream down, just let me know. Hit me up. You can even leave a comment in the video, this stream, and the video, because I might do a video later on this as well. By all means, just let me know. Hit me up on my email that's in the description of the channel, or not the description, but the chat, the main page of the channel. You just go to my business email, send me an email, leave a comment. Honestly, it might be easier if you just left a comment in the stream, and either the stream or the video, I'll take both of them down. Just let me know.
It's their messiah, honestly.
Please don't strike the channel. Don't be that guy.
Staying for the show. Wow. That place has bad vibes.
It looks like it has bad vibes.
Yo, Batman,
He just fell, man.
They have Bigfoot. We're going in.
He's toast, man.
We're going
Yo,
in.
is that that looks like oh man. Who was the actor that played in The Accountant? That looks like Ben Affleck's Batman. He's got that big fat chin. Looks kind of like an ape himself. You'll have to forgive me if I'm a little not 100% sure. I haven't really seen the Planet of the Apes. I don't really know what the hierarchy is for the apes. I know that the humans fucked up.
Go.
I know that, because they're on the bottom. They're the slaves. So, like, if they get seen, are they just gonna automatically be, like, stomped out?
This must be Ursus's tent. Get in.
Oh, it's the big guy.
Took you long enough. Want a grape?
You're relaxing?
I've heard good things about them. I've just never seen them. I don't know why.
I thought you were in danger.
How did you end up here?
Okay, flashback time.
Oh, that was that monkey. Okay.
So I
Yo, is that the old school AI monkey that came out with EeveeBot and whatnot?
Plant into the dirt, and next thing I know, the guards are kneeling in front of me.
It's because he's bigger, right?
Then they stick me on this cool throne.
Bring me food,
and tell me to wait to meet Ursus. So?
Because he's Bigfoot. He's not a gorilla. He's Bigfoot.
Here I am.
He's so happy.
You got worshipped again.
Again?
Whatever.
How often does this happen? What?
Let's search for the plans. This logo. That's Wayne Tech.
Wayne's
this isn't
World.
Just the future. It's my future. We got what we need. Let's go.
He's just gonna take that and run? I wouldn't do that.
Ursus found a military bunker.
Okay, so these must be like the normal people, right? They're like normal apes that are like peasants, I guess.
If he activates it, the war is over.
How many times must I tell you? No speaking human.
We have to attack his camp now.
He's not a human, he's a bat. Okay? I'll have you know. Batman is half bat, half man. And full badass.
Chance.
We cannot fight his army head on. We are farmers, not soldiers. Great One.
Well, all you gotta do is just take your ear off and throw it like, I'm gonna go to hell. I'm gonna stop.
What should we do?
My servant is right. We gotta fight now. And you're right too. You're not soldiers. But he is.
The prophecy says I will save you. So, as the Great One, I have imbued my servant with all my ancient tactical knowledge. You will listen to him.
Ben Affleck looking kind of angry over there.
I swear, if you call me servant one more time, listen up. They won't expect us to take them head on. We hit with a surprise attack.
So wait, is the Planet of the Apes in the future or in the past? I just got a comment. It said, I don't know how I ended up here, but I watch Asmon every day, and this reaction was hilarious. And it's got like the smiley face emoji. I'm going to say, thank you. I barely work and hardly try, so sub for more. Obviously, that's not the case, but I mean...
Break their defenses and end this before they can react. The Great One has spoken. His wisdom will guide us. Tomorrow, we attack at dawn.
Oh, shit. There's the reason why I grabbed my phone. Does the Planet of the Apes base its time period in the future or in the past? The original Planet of the Apes films were set in the future, specifically in the year 3978. However, the more recent Caesar trilogy starts in the early 2000s and depicts the past events leading up to the creation of this future. Jesus. So it's kind of like everywhere then, I guess. Didn't you know guys are run by apes right now?
Intruders! Intruders!
Oh, get wrecked!
Ursus! He's not here. He took his elite guard and went for the bunker.
We're running out of time!
I love the running animations for the AI created stuff. It's so good. I don't know why, it just tickles me so.
I will cleanse this world in fire.
Will you? Jesus, man.
He didn't know the launch protocols. The idiot armed the entire arsenal by mistake.
Great, more of your hairy friends, Big G. Let's take them down.
Bro, you can't just go and say that. Oh, 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 get him, Batman. Come on. Oh, oh, oh. Is he done? There it goes. Oh, oh, Jesus. That was easy. Why isn't he doing all the hard work? Oh, damn, she can fight too? It's just Batman that's struggling,
Your
okay.
fight is
I
with
get
me,
what you're saying, Planet of the Apes. I understand. I get it.
Chunky Kong.
Chunky Kong. Oh. Oh. Oh, there's a big alpha beatdown.
This interface, it's Wayne Enterprises Security Protocol 7. I designed this.
What about 1 through 6?
Rerouting trajectory, aborting atmospheric detonation, calculating deep space intercept.
Don't
Deep space
mess
intercept.
with the Great One.
Oh! Oh, he's missing! Oh, got him that time. He's dead, man. He got. Uh-oh.
Great One, we failed!
Failed? Who do you think I am?
Yo, why does that look like what's his face from Peacemaker? It looks like John Cena. Got all the heavy hitters in here,
Who do
man.
you think I am?
Oh, you gotta stop the missiles. You gotta stop the missiles. Blow them up. Oh, they just going out in the space? Oh.
He felt my special Great One move in his teeth.
That was oddly sexual.
You see,
Smoking?
old man, this one here is the Great One. Want to give it a try?
The Great One? Or they like
I
roll
think
this
I
guy
just
up?
unlocked level 2 of my brain.
Our world owes you and the Great One a great debt.
Just another day at the office. Plus, it wouldn't have been possible without the Great One's wisdom and knowledge, right? This portal gun, it doesn't just cross dimensions. The energy readings, it travels through time.
Damn.
We weren't just in another universe. We were in our own future. We can go home to our own time. You could stay, you know? They think you're their savior. You could be a king here.
Nah, being a king sounds like a lot of boring meetings.
I'd rather go on adventures with my buddy.
Batman uniform. Okay, so it doesn't have any actual nipples on it. I was like, what's going on with that uniform? I was like,
All right, let's go home, Big G.
Goodbye, oh Great One.
And there they go. They saved it. They did it, boys. They beat the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, Big G, this time we're going home for good.
Yeah, that was a W animation. Great job, Bat and Squatch. Legendary. Oh,
This man
Whoa,
is a-
whoa. Hold on now. What's it done with that? Hold on.
We're stuck in the future.
That was awesome. Check out Bat and Squatch on YouTube. Heck yeah. That was awesome. All right, we got some more paths.
Vampire. Introducing the vampire groundfinch, native to the Galapagos Islands, and a great example of the horrifying affronts to the universe that evolution can produce when it decides to do a little trolling. Now you see, at first glance, this is the most boring vampire you can possibly imagine. Coming in at a measly 12 centimeters and a mere 20 grams in weight.
12 centimeters. How big is 12 centimeters? Hold on. How big is 12 centimeters? So, like, it's the size of two AA batteries. Yeah. So, well, actually, two AA batteries and a little bit bigger. How the hell? So how's this thing supposed to suck blood? That's weird.
Ooh,
Oh, man.
that's kind of small.
Rocking a feather pattern I can best describe as a Minecraft dirt block, and as it turns out, the bastards that wrote Twilight lied to me, because it doesn't even fucking sparkle. So if it's missing...
So why is that a thing? Why is it when they made the fucking Twilight series, they made all the freaking vampires sparkle? It's so
fangs,
weird.
angst, a cape, and the funny accent.
You must bounce on it.
How does it qualify as a vampire? Simple. Drinks a shitload of blood. You see, most birds eat seeds and insects, and while the vampire finch can eat those too, there is a problem. They live on an island, and that island is very small. In fact, they're only found on 2 of the Galapagos Islands, and small islands means a far smaller amount of that food to go around. To the point where these finches can't rely on it as their sole source. Which for a bird usually isn't a problem, because, you know, they don't need a plane ticket to just f*** off and fly somewhere.
Yeah.
However, as the name suggests, the vampire ground finch can't fly for shit.
Oh, so it can't
So how
fly.
do they get their food? They suck it out of someone that can. This, don't laugh, is the Nazca booby. Hey, stop giggling back there. Another species of bird native to the islands. They are very strong flyers that feed on fish. They also nest on the islands, which is where our feathery Nosferatu comes to play. You see, when the boobies stop giggling, come to roost, the vampire finch will sneak over and hop onto their back. Then, using their razor-sharp beak, they will poke a very small, borderline painless hole into one of the bird's flight feathers.
Jesus.
Once the blood is flowing freely, the vampire finch gorge themselves on it. See, as it turns out, blood is macro-friendly. And considering these things are living creatures, they just make more blood. In essence, giving the vampire finch an infinite food source. In fact, they can get so much blood from these birds. It is not uncommon to see multiple finches sucking from the same booby.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't say that.
Oh my god. So XQC has won gamer streamer of, I think it was the decade?
Wait, a positive club at Scuba Ryan though. Hier, exclusive accomplishment. 2017 MVP. Watch percent shipper. Yeah. Holy. Okay, I will say.
Look at that. W decision, by the way. Heck yes.
Guys, I will say it's kind of sad that it's the way it is, but I have to self-report. Okay, every singular peaks on any of my streams in the past 10 years, all were streams were either botted or drops farming. Look, this.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that it's like that. To give you an idea of how, I don't know if you saw the video over the weekend, but I addressed the whole view botting problem that Twitch was having. Some of the sponsors, like if you got sponsored by an insurance company, this happened kind of recently within the last year. These people, these streamers got sponsored by, I think, Progressive or something. It was one of the insurance companies, and they were botting the streams to like a couple 100,000, and the streamers ended up dropping out of the sponsorship because they were going to be facing a lot of backlash, and they did, from the fact that just because they've got a sponsor, they all of a sudden have this massive viewership. And it was kind of, I would assume to them, it was very shocking. But I know that if I was in their position, I would be 100% leaving that sponsorship, because the thing is whenever you're not being sponsored anymore, it was only for one stream anyway, because they were doing something. Whenever you're no longer being sponsored, that fluctuation is just going to plummet, and it doesn't look good on your stream at all. It looks very fishy, and then it's kind of like a scar to your channel almost. it sucks. But some of the, and the reason why I say this is because some of the advertisers, they openly say that. They're like, yeah, we're gonna, get you some viewers. And typically they mean that they're gonna view bot the shit out of your channel, and that's not okay.
It's a sad day for me and for some other boys to have to admit that, chat. But the key farming drops was crazy.
Because it's demoralizing whenever you got 300,000 viewers and then it drops to nothing because they were all view botted. It's disgusting.
Chat, we will
It doesn't feel like an accomplishment. It feels like a slap in the face.
Never had any other event in the history of live streaming, okay, where numbers were more inflated than the Valorant key drop.
What is this?
Right here.
Minnesota DFL is revoking the party's endorsement of Batch for mayor of Minneapolis.
They're taking away his win.
Yes, he can always go back to pirating ships.
He cheated. Minnesota State Democrat Party reversed endorsement of Omar Fatea as mayor of Minneapolis after discovering, or rather being forced to admit, severe voting irregularities. According to the incumbent...
So the guy actually admitted that he cheated during a vote? Oh,
Mayor
no.
Jacob Frey's campaign. The only explanation for what happened is brazen cheating.
That's crazy. I remember a time where Rudy Giuliani was getting sued by the voting booth people because he was saying that they were cheating, that there was cheating going on.
As the state party said, and as the investigation showed.
This could be the start of a massive uproar. Because, like, if this guy gets found out and he's too stupid to be like, yeah, I didn't cheat, he just admits it, who knows how big this can be.
The process that was rife with errors and misconduct. The data itself
What
was
an absolute idiot.
given to the other campaigns, and they were allowed to edit it.
So, let me get this straight. It's run by a bunch of corrupt retards that tried to elect this clown into office. I believe it.
I believe it myself. I mean, I'm sure every state is 100% like that.
I believe it. This is apparently the guy.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. You really think somebody like this was going to be in office? What is that smile?
So, anyway, he got it.
This guy was running for mayor? There's no way.
Shit, no, bro. Did he even go and say anything about this shit? He not even saying anything about this.
I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other.
You know why? I guarantee you, he took whatever was left of the money that he had raised to do this. He took that shit and ran. I bet
here in Minnesota and back home. There's always been a link, and I'm running to bridge that gap, and I'm hoping to do that just like Abdrazak, inshallah.
Between Somalia and the United States.
Allah.
How are you going to do that as
And so
mayor
you
of one state?
Tried to rig your shit. People.
Democrat revoke endorsement of Democratic Socialist candidate for Minneapolis mayor.
Found
That's
out about
crazy.
it, and
they were
now-
really going to
now
try to
you're
make
having
this
a
guy
bad-
the mayor?
That day, huh?
Is he even American?
It's like, if they're cheating, bro, like, you gonna go
I guess not, because I guess it wouldn't matter because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of oh God, what was he the governor of? Huh? What is it? Yeah, it was the governor of California, thank you. So, and he's a legal immigrant. He legally immigrated here.
do this, you gotta put him in jail. This is some straight up third world bullshit. Like, oh my God.
It's crazy. Only for president, you gotta be born here, I believe. That's crazy. I guess this person realized that Americans massacred the Native Americans and took their land.
What's this? The female supremacist? Oh no. Oh no.
I don't want to hear another white person say the word illegal for the rest of my goddamn life. We are living on stolen land. Our ancestors forcibly and violently seized this land from the indigenous peoples who were living here for generations.
Yeah, and you know what happened? They're dead now. So they really can't put up much of a fuss. Because they tried. And now most of them are dead. That's kind of what happens when you win a war.
Before we ever showed up, we do not get to call them.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but like, just so you're aware, most people started on one continent and moved to the other than like the people that were already on the continent. So it happens quite a bit, but you can still claim a land, put up walls, and say that it's yours, regardless of what you think, Karen.
Legal.
Then leave.
Exactly.
Give your house up, give your, your land up to the indigenous people that used to live there. And
I think you can do that.
Go back to Europe.
Yep. There you go. I'd say the same thing with like anyone, really. Like, if you want to sit here and throw shade onto everything like this, then you can always do something. You can give up your land, give it to the Native Americans, go back to wherever you go back to Europe, and see how much you like it there. Because I guarantee you, if you make a post like this over in Europe, there's going to be some police knocking on your door. I promise you.
But he wins.
Bro, have you forgot to ask someone first?
We don't own the fucking planet. Nobody does. All of it is made up. None of it is real.
If all of it's made up and none of it's real, then how is it so defined that these people own the land? This entire fabric of ownership and all this stuff stealing, but she's coming to a completely opposite conclusion. What's with her eyes? She's crazy. That's what it is.
I was going to say, so like, one eye is different than the other, and the other one was drooping at first in the first clip. So like, I don't know, this person needs to go and take their meds. They need to be put back in. They need to be put back in front of the Cocomelon.
For being angry about it.
Here we go. She's mad that people think that she's crazy.
Well, she's. I wouldn't say she's crazy. She's kind of right. She's just stupid. If you really feel the way you do, then give up all your assets in America. Give all your money to the homeless or to the Native Americans. Give up your land to the Native Americans. Or sell your house and give the money to the Native Americans and go to Europe.
Of being made to feel like I'm crazy.
I bet a lot of people.
I feel like whenever somebody gets on social media and does this, they should get like a letter in the mail with a yes or no question on there that's like, would you like to go to a different country? Yes or no? And then if they say yes, then they automatically get deported and they lose citizenship all the way.
In her life thinks she's crazy.
And if they want to come back, they have to go through the normal process.
Capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system.
Then go to an African country that doesn't have capitalism. We're going to give you a GoPro. You've got to...
Look. America's not perfect. But let's be honest here. There's really no country that's perfect. Even if it is perfect, it's only for a short period of time before somebody else gets in control and ruins it. No country's perfect. America sucks, but I've been in America my entire life. Other countries suck, but they've lived there their entire lives. If it's so bad, then move. Just fucking move.
I go live every day, and we're gonna see how things turn out for you.
Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy. If the lion can't claim the safari for himself and call the elephant illegal, then neither the fuck can we!
Well, he can if he kills the elephant. That's the rules of the jungle.
That's right. That's how war works. Whenever you fight and you kill and take over an entire piece of land because there's nobody left that can fight you, or the people that are left give up, that land is yours. Whether anyone likes to admit it or not, you have proclaimed that land, like what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Russia is taking ground from the Ukraine, and now that they're in peace talks, there's a good chance that whatever Russia took, they're going to keep. Does that make it okay? Probably not, no. Because they're the aggressor. But will it happen? Most likely.
Ryan does do that. He does it all the time. The problem really with people like this is that they are mentally ill and not told no. These are people that live in absolute privilege. They can afford to have these values. They can afford to think these things.
Well, and the reason for that is because they write the checks, but they don't have to cash them. These are the same kind of people that are advocating for the removal of police funds. You see, they can do that because they're in a privileged community that's nice and gated and protected. But it really, whenever you remove police, the only people that you're hurting are people that are in these poorer communities that need the police, that need this order in order to just to keep businesses open. I mean, what happens if you steal from the CVS and the CVS shuts down because they don't have the police coming and help? Now grandma's got to drive 45 minutes just to get medication that she needs to live. And she may not be able to because she can't afford the gas. It's this mindset that is a complete and total cancer to American culture. It really is.
Illegals don't live in her house instead? Well, exactly, yeah. You don't see her offering her house to illegal aliens. You don't see her doing any of that. Why is this so accurate? Cracker Barrel and Cracker Barrel? I think this is more like Cracker Barrel and just Barrel, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. We're going to have more, so don't worry about it. But I have been, this happened either yesterday or the day before. So I guess it was a wrestling match, and this streamer almost killed a guy because he couldn't control his emotions in the ring, and he started hitting this guy and was knocked out and put him in critical condition in the hospital. It's bad.
French streamer Jean Parmenov, who passed away in his sleep on stream after a marathon of abuse from some other streamers. And just now, I literally just finished streaming Resident Evil 6, and I was taking a little tinkle, and I got sent a little something that is so diabolical. I had to hop back in the saddle and yap about it. It is
So apparently his dad is enwrapped in this as well. His dad, I think, is also a streamer. And he's, like, trying very hard to defend his son and what happened. And I get that.
That yet another potential death was just streamed on Kick.
Yeah.
I'm recording this an hour after it happened, and the victim is currently still in the ICU, so I guess by the time I post this, I'll know whether or not they passed away, but I'm going to keep this part in here right now because it's up in the air. A Kick streamer, Raja Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, and also a professional fighter.
Yeah, Kick is going to have to step up their A game because they're going to have to start. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter for Kick because they're not using advertisers. They're using their own gambling funds. So, I mean, they can get all the hate they want, but it doesn't matter because there's no advertisers to attack.
Fucking ballistic on a wrestler during a wrestling event on stream. He picks the wrestler up, slams him on the mat, and then lays down 27 punches to the man's skull, most of which were delivered while he was unconscious. And by the end of it, he is bleeding and bloodied. They couldn't wake him up. They said he was barely breathing, and someone even used the word flatline, that he was flatlined in the ring. This is not fake. This is not scripted.
Where did he even come from? Where did this guy even come from? Jesus. Where's the ref at? He should have stepped in way sooner. This is wrestling, man. This isn't real. I mean, it is to an extent. It's mostly like... So, like, wrestling is mostly a... I love you. It's mostly an acrobatic sport. A lot of it is acrobats. Learning how to land on somebody just right so they don't get hurt, but they get knocked, you know? There's a reason why you don't see wrestlers doing this. You don't see a wrestler getting, knocked out, and then you see another wrestler get on top and start hitting their face. It's a show. That's why whenever you see a wrestler get knocked and they're like kind of stumbling, they're like on the ground, and then you see the guy that's like big dog, he's like, yeah, he gets up and he's like, oh, to the crowd stuff. He's not on top of the wrestler punching them. It's a show. It's supposed to be for fun. People get hurt all the time, yes. I'm not saying that wrestling is easy by any standard. It is incredibly athletic. A lot of guys that get up in that ring, They may not seem like they're athletic. They may seem like they're larger, but they are incredibly athletic. Being able to put a lot of weight into, like, one guy used to do like a butt slam, and he would like put the guy up in the corner, and then he would rear up, and then he would fucking run forward, and then he would slam his ass on them, and he was a big ass dude. Funny enough. But like, to do it in a way that doesn't kill somebody is the technique that every wrestler must master. And I see this, and I'm like, this guy didn't get up there to wrestle. He got up there to kill somebody. Jesus Christ. Where's the ref? Why isn't the ref? It's like the ref doesn't even know what to do with this. He's never, like, whenever the ref is just stunned because he doesn't know how to handle this because no one's done this. This is the kind of stuff that some people just aren't prepared for. Like, this is stuff that you look for in a UFC match. Like, this isn't wrestling. This is just a bar brawl. Look at that. That's crazy.
I did my best to censor this. It is brutal. It is extremely hard to watch. I also cut the clip short, but they pan back and he is...
Like, you realize that most of these wrestlers, man, they don't have any kind of insurance for their job. So there's a good chance that this poor man that's getting brutalized in this arena is most likely just trying to bring bread to the table. Like, most of these guys, they do get a lot of money, but with how often they get injured, a lot of that money goes towards their injuries. And to be brutalized like this is just absolutely disgusting. It's actually heartbreaking to see this. I don't understand what was going through this guy's mind when he did this. There is a high chance that this man has a family that he needs this job to rely on that is now got him hospitalized in critical condition just because he was doing his job. Because some little guy, some little man couldn't control his temper.
Covered in blood. Raja Jackson is a professional fighter who has unloaded, I counted 27 blows to an unconscious man. And they all are connecting. This is not like fake. It's not like he's pulling any of his punches. They are all hitting.
That's what really kind of goes on whenever you wrestle somebody in wrestling. Like, a lot of the time, they don't use their full weight. They don't use their full... They're not there to hurt you, per se. They're there to put on a show. There's a lot that goes on behind the doors at wrestling, the wrestling organization. Whoever is supposed to win is probably predetermined before every match. It's a show. And like any show, you can get hurt. There are actors that get hurt all the time doing their stunts. It's normal. This is just brutal and it's disgusting. And this person should be put in jail.
Squarely on this man's skull, bouncing his head off of the mat. And I said most of them were when he was unconscious. All of them are while he's unconscious. When I watched it back, it's clear.
No, because he got knocked out when he got slammed, right? Yeah.
His head hit the mat and it knocked him out immediately.
Yeah. Like, even whenever you slam somebody on the mat, you're supposed to slam them in a way that their head doesn't bounce and hit the mat. Whenever you see these wrestlers go limp on another wrestler like that, whenever they're going to body slam, they literally have to put their full trust into the wrestler that's doing that, just like a cheerleader, hoping that they know how to do the technique just right, that it doesn't hurt or kill them. You could be killed with how many times these guys, like, are on their, like, as an EMT, I'm telling you that this could be a very dangerous sport if you don't know what you're doing. I would classify this as sport. I think it is a sport because of how they're picked up and thrown on the mats. Like, you have to know the technique. That's why it takes some of these guys years, and some of them don't ever even get anywhere because they just can't understand that it's technique. It's not about actual brutalization. It's not about actually fighting like the UFC. It's a show.
So all 27, potentially more, punches that he threw were on an unconscious man. That can be fatal. That is most oftentimes fatal.
No, it is. That's why in the UFC, whenever you see somebody getting pummeled like that, they stop it quick. They will even penalize you if they see you doing that.
Either it's not like he just stopped and said, okay, well, that's plenty. I've had my fill.
He would have kept going.
Still going. The only reason there weren't more punches thrown
the
by
guy got him off
is because the other wrestlers were able to separate him. But he was fighting against them to go back and keep beating this unconscious man. He probably wouldn't have stopped punching him until his head popped like a balloon. It's extremely scary, and even if he does pull through, this could have life-changing repercussions with brain damage and so...
That's another thing, like, this man probably suffered some form, like Charlie said, he probably is messed up now. The amount of blows this man took that put him in critical, like, to get in critical condition from being pummeled, it takes a lot. This man will probably never be able to wrestle again because of this. It's disgusting to see this.
So many other complications for the rest of his life, if he even survives, which we don't know yet.
Actually, let me check. Where's my phone? Did the man that got brutalized in the wrestling match with the kick streamer live, or is he dead? Pro wrestlers. Oh, you just woke up? A kick streamer brutalized a WWE member and put him in the hospital, and he's facing legal charges now. I don't know. It doesn't say anything yet. 11, fly, 6. It's not saying. I can't find any information on it. Actually, since I couldn't find any information, I want to watch a little bit more of this, so delete. We're going to go back up to 2 minutes.
Apparently flatlined in the ring and is currently still in the ICU, and we don't have any updates. This is terrifying stuff. Hello, it's Charles. First
do we have an update? Did you figure it out?
And we don't have a ton of official updates on the condition of that wrestler, but the father of Raja Jackson, Rampage Jackson, gave an update where he is saying that Psycho Stu, that's the name of the wrestler, is alive and is stable. And he also says that he's clearing up misinformation about his son. But then in his statement, he doesn't clear up any misinformation. He just confirms what everyone already knows, that this was completely out of control, inexcusable behavior.
It is.
That Rampage Jackson also doesn't condone. So I don't know what misinformation he thinks he's clearing up with this. He's just agreeing with what everyone else is saying, that his son went fucking berserk. I guess maybe the misinformation demon that he was exercising here was about his son actually getting, like, the permission for payback on Psycho Stu for an earlier...
I don't think that even if the guy that got pummeled into the hospital, if he had come across this guy and was like, yeah, sure, you can get payback, it wouldn't have been like that. There's no way.
Confrontation. And what he's referring to there is they had like a little beef before the event started, and someone had told Raja Jackson that he could like double leg take down Psycho Stu in the ring and then throw like a fake punch, and that would be it, to like settle the beef and create like this storyline. But Raja Jackson on stream, on camera, says that he is going to hurt Psycho Stu. He said he will not stop punching him until people will yank him off of him. So he took that like
literal
pseudo invite, like green light to be involved in the wrestling event.
That's the thing, is like, again, this is probably going to be a separate video. It's supposed to be a show. It's not supposed to be a UFC match. This isn't a blood match, man. It's supposed to be a show. It's supposed to have like how Charlie just explained it, it's just to be like a little story, to have a little fun with it, to build like a relationship between these people. And this guy just straight up wanted to hurt this man, and he pretty much ruined his wrestling career. I will be shocked if this man is able to get back into the ring after this.
As a permission slip to go brutally assault this man and beat him within an inch of his life. Like, I think you could also make a case.
What's crazy is I'm sure that this wrestler could have defended himself. if he had known what was going to happen. Again, wrestling is a lot like cheerleading. You have to put your trust in the other person who's picking you up and throwing you up in the air that they're going to catch you and not drop you and hurt you. It's like a dance. And this guy just had no intention on playing the dance. He wanted to fight.
His attempted murder. This was premeditated assault that he planned on not stopping at any point.
And what's crazy is it's premeditated. He said what he was going to do. So if he had died, this guy could have been charged with manslaughter. 100%.
Until third parties intervened. Like, I really think you could make, like, a real argument.
A lot of people are giving the referee backlash for this. You have to realize the referees that do the WWE matches, they're not trained to understand what happened. They're there to, like, break up little instances of, weird stuff or, like, just kind of play into it. They're not UFC referees. They're not there to, like, I've seen the wrestlers attack the referees too. Like, it's part of the show. It's just to give, like, an added thing. The referee was probably like, oh God, what is happening when this started happening? Not realizing how serious this was. Because they're not trained in anything. They don't know any better. They're there for the show.
He had went in there with the full intentions of killing Psycho Stu. That's what it looks like to me.
Tell you guys this.
It looks premeditated.
Just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you. I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch.
That's indefensible. You can see him literally planning it off the back of them giving him, like, the instructions for a work where he'd come in and he'd deliver, like, a hit, like a fake hit, and then he'd be pulled off and that'd be the end of it. And he is saying, but watch this, I'm going to keep punching him. Like, he is blatantly stating this. It is very clearly a premeditated assault.
It is.
And like I said, I really think his goal was to kill Psycho Stu there. It really seems like that was his mission.
If I was, because this is under investigation now by the police, I would try to get him for a premeditated murder, honestly. Or attempted murder, but make it like premeditated. I don't know what the thing is for that, but that's what I'd be charging him with. Because this was premeditated. It was planned for this guy to hurt this other individual this badly.
This up to confusion where he was directed to do something but then just went a little far, like, mistakenly. He is, with his own voice, his own vocal folds flapping with their own volition here. He is stating, they told me to do this, but instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to punch him as many times as I possibly can.
Like, I feel like the people that were talking to him, that recorded this, they should have taken that as a red flag to be like, nah, you're not, this isn't for you. This isn't the kind of thing for you. You need to go to the UFC or something. Or maybe he's too much of a pussy to go to the UFC. But, like, whenever you're beating down people that are trying to put up a show for an audience because you have an anger problem, let's see your ass fight some UFC members.
He is stating clearly that they told him one thing, and he is not doing that. Instead, he is going to punch the shit out of him, beat him within an inch of his life. You can't possibly say that he just got confused with the stage directions here of the storyline. He is saying that he is going to go punch him as many times as possible and disregard what they said he is permitted to do, like what they planned on. It is premeditated assault by every possible definition. Now, what started all of this, and I've seen people joking about it like, oh, haha, Raja Jackson must not know that wrestling is fake, and he thought the heel was being mean to his favorite babyface, so he took matters into his own hands, tee-hee-hee. But what actually happened is Raja Jackson was touring the event and meeting the wrestlers backstage, and of course the wrestlers are all playing characters, and when it comes to wrestling, there's a little something called...
That's another thing that not a lot of people understand. The guys that you see up on stage, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Stone Cold Steve Austin, these guys have characters like any YouTuber. Like, you could be under fire from Asmongold, and he's going to be your best friend behind the scenes, but he's just trying to fuel the drama, that's all. He's just trying to make a living like everybody else on YouTube. So, like, whenever you see these backstage tours and you see the wrestlers going at it and da-da-da-da-da, it's all for the fun. It's all for the fun. This guy had no intention. He must have thought this shit was real. Even though, like, you have to go through quite a bit of proceedings to understand that this stuff is mostly staged.
Kayfabe, and so they are going to portray their character to the best of their ability and keep everything as authentic and genuine as possible. And Psycho Stu was in character and misunderstood that Raja Jackson was not.
No, they're already rolling out charges. You can go to jail for this. Like, to give you an idea how bad this is, this was during a WWE wrestling match. And he brutalized this man within an inch of his life on purpose. It's the intent behind it that you can get press charges for. The intent matters no matter what. You could jump off of the second rope in a wrestling match and accidentally break somebody's neck, but it was not intended. It was an accident. Whenever you go out of your way to beat somebody to death, which is literally what happened here, it's with malicious intent. That's a charge. Anything that has to do with law has to do with its intent. If you intended to hurt somebody, your ass is going to jail. If they think you intended to hurt somebody, you're going to jail. If they know for a fact it was an accident, it happens. Like, if you picked up a gun and you accidentally shot somebody, it happens. You're probably going to get like a misuse of firearm, but you're not going to jail for attempted murder. But if you intended to pick that gun up and shoot somebody and they live, you're going to jail for attempted murder, if not murder, if they die.
In the event.
Worry about him. You need to be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little... Oh, you don't...
It was just a normal beer. It was just an empty beer can. Yeah, you see how he did that? So he picked it up and he popped it before it actually hit him, right? You see that? It was staged.
Yeah.
You can actually pop open a beer can if you hit either the top or the bottom of the can where it's got air. You can put your thumb in there and you can pop it. That's obviously what he did here. I don't have a soda can to show, but I don't even know if I could do it. You have to have quite a bit of dexterity and finger strength to do it. But he popped it and then hit him, right? He didn't actually crush the beer can on his head. And you could see how he grabbed his head on the left, how he's like, to try and hold his head still, right? If you were going to hit somebody with a beer can, you wouldn't grab their head from the left or the right and then hit them with the other side of with the can. You would just hit them with it. It's a staged show. See, watch.
Hey, I think that's a little...
See, look, you see? If anything, he probably shielded the guy's head whenever he hit him with the can right here, you know? I guarantee you, this was just a show. You see? Hold on, wait. You can actually really see it here. Watch.
Hell no.
It actually gets popped before it even hits his head. Watch.
Yeah.
Watch. We'll slow it down. I'll show you. I saw it myself. It's just a fucking show. Watch. I guess he kind of waited, but yeah, no, like, it's obvious that this, if he had actually been hit with this can, his side of his head would have been bleeding. You know how hard like, you can throw a can on the ground and it won't pop. There's no way that this man hit him that hard to where the can exploded. I'm sorry. There's no way.
Oh, you don't... Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it? Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
Not even anything in his hair. There's nothing wrong with him.
What the fuck was that? Hold on.
You ever notice that whenever they do all these crazy stunts that no one's bleeding typically, unless they hit the wrong way? Whenever they get hit in the face, their face isn't cut up and bloody and puffy, like if you were to go to a UFC match or a boxing match. It's because they do things a certain way that it doesn't actually physically harm them. It does hurt. I'm sure that there is some force behind it, but I guarantee you a big-ass man like that would probably one-tap this guy, especially if he wasn't realizing that he was about to get hit. Exactly. That is also a thing. They actually cut themselves or they hit themselves a certain way to like bust their eyebrow whenever they land. A lot of this stuff, I wouldn't say it's scripted, but it's very athletic. I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm not saying that it's staged either, but to an extent it is.
I don't play that shit, bro. No, I will fuck him
we're
up,
good.
bro.
I know you will. We're good.
And he takes it way too far when he takes a beer can. I don't know if it's like a real beer can or like one of those breakaway.
Even Charlie is having trouble thinking about, is this even real? It's not real. It could have been a real beer can. He probably just popped it with his thumb behind the camera. Like, these people, they know how to manipulate the cameras. That's their job. That's what they do best. That's how the really good ones get really, really, really high up and make it to the WWE like championship stuff. They have to learn the tricks of the trade.
They like stunt ones, but he takes it and he crushes it on Raja Jackson's head. Then you can see him get really fired up about it, and all the other wrestlers are also saying to Psycho Stu, like,
think about it this way. If you was gonna hit somebody with a beer can and you grab the top of their head, why would you grab the top of their head? Why wouldn't you grab the left side of their face and then hit them like this? Why would you grab the top of their head and then go in a down motion? You're going to get most of your force from a wide swing. Think about that.
Bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's
like
not
a slap
like a worker
almost
here or anything. That was too far. And that's what started this. And then
especially with a big ass dude like that, I guarantee you most of his force is going to come from the wide swing. He's got more force he can put behind it.
Jackson waited until their match, then he stormed in and then
how's it going?
Potentially to death for it. Now, I think if Raja Jackson had swung on Psycho Stu...
No, I don't think it had much in it anyway. Yeah, no, like...
you could definitely make a strong case that he was acting in self-defense. Because that is unexpected, it was unprovoked, and it was kind of a crazy thing for Psycho Stu to do, not knowing for sure if Raja Jackson was a worker in the event or not. It was a bad judgment call for sure from Stu. And he was just like way too fucking committed to being the heel. Like he was really deep into his method acting like fucking Shia LaBeouf style, and he did the beer can thing, and it was definitely over the line.
I think that would, if this guy hadn't have done this would have been a great way for them to move up in the WWE. A lot of the WWE members, from what I understand, a lot of them move up as pairs because they can have this dynamic love-hate relationship with each other. And that's how a lot of these guys, they move up. They make themselves reputations of like, oh, well, the nemesis or the good and bad guy, you know, that kind of like mentality really helps put on a show.
But here's something a lot of people aren't showing enough of, that Psycho Stu was very apologetic when he learned that Raja Jackson was not a worker at the event. He apologized 3 times. They shook hands multiple times, and Raja said, like, hey, it's good, I get it. Multiple times. Meanwhile, he was just like bubbling with anger, waiting for his chance to fucking assault this man.
So he even apologized for it, not realizing.
Fucking seal that. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah, hello.
That's crazy.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were
Camera. I get it.
This hurts. This hurts me a lot. I didn't know this happened. So you mean to tell me that this man apologized even while the camera was still there because he didn't realize? And everything seemed fine, and now he's sitting in the hospital in what was critical condition?
working out, well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Zeus. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Right. I get it now. Now you know what
I'm saying? We're always working.
What a fucking worm. This is some slimy behavior here. This is some turbo ass. Raja Jackson is now pretending that he understands and forgives Psycho Stu, who is very apologetic, mind you, and he's explaining, like, look, I saw the cameras, I thought that this was like another work, they were building storyline, this and that, and Raja Jackson's like, no, I get it, and he's like shaking his hand and everything. Meanwhile, he is actively planning of assaulting this man, beating him unconscious and fucking leaving him eating meals through a straw, as he is like pretending to let bygones be bygones here and that they're on good terms. That's fucking unhinged. Now, before showing you some more of the aftermath here, let me introduce you to Psycho Stu. I think you should get a little bit of the lore behind this wrestler that Raja Jackson beat so severely, hospitalizing in the ICU, and apparently caused to flatline in the ring.
Pro in 2009. I had just got out of the military, probably about 6 months earlier. I got out of the military, I joined Knox Pro, because I needed something to focus on. I needed something to help me adjust back into civilian life. A lot of veterans, it's hard for them to readjust into civilian life coming from the life of the military. I'm an American soldier that suffers from PTSD. Being in front of a crowd, it doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would.
Yeah. Psycho Stu is a veteran who was suffering from PTSD and found wrestling as a means of escapism and fell in love with the sport.
Man, that's fucked. That's really fucked. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, a lot of these guys, they do it because they have to put bread on their table, or they've got their own things that push them to go back into the ring, And to have some little fucking worm like this guy go up there and do this, it's fucking disgusting. Especially to people that don't really want to hurt anybody. His guy goes up there with nothing but intent to either harm or kill somebody, stating beforehand what he had planned on doing, and they still allowed this kid to get into the ring and do this.
And now is currently hospitalized in the ICU, but apparently is stable, so hopefully Rampage Jackson is accurate with that claim that he is alive and stable. That would be wonderful news. But what an unbelievable set of circumstances that led to his hospitalization here. Yes, he made a mistake with Rampage Jackson's son here, not knowing whether or not he was a worker and still building the storyline anyway under the impression he was. But it's not a mistake that should have led to something like this, especially when he did everything in his power to try and rectify it and try and apologize for his mistake and explain why it happened and ensure that it was totally unintentional and there wasn't meant to be any bad blood or anything. And he thought that he did accomplish that, but clearly Raja Jackson didn't actually think so. He was just acting. Raja Jackson was flexing his thespian skills here when he was pretending that everything was okay between those two, because what he was actually doing was plotting a premeditated assault on Psycho Stu. Again,
I just don't understand how they let that man get in the ring with him, knowing full well what he had said and what his intentions were.
That potential argument of self-defense, that has poofed away like...
What's crazy is that 20 years ago, this backstage stuff would have never come out, but because there's cameras everywhere now, we're able to put together the full story.
Timmy Turner's fairy godparents. That ship sailed a long time ago because he didn't act in response to the threat. Like, after the beer can was crushed on his head, which, again, he wasn't expecting, and that can be dangerous, but he didn't, act in the heat of the moment to defend himself from that or anything. Instead, he let it marinate, let his rage bubble up, and then waited for his opportunity to get revenge later. There is no longer a possible case of self-defense here. Yes, he was wronged, but he didn't, try and defend himself from that threat or anything. He pretended to, move on from it with the guy who did it, and then waited to attack him later. And I think you can make a very strong case that it was attempted murder. At the very least, it is a premeditated assault, and based on the things he was saying leading up to it, and based on the behavior in the ring when he was delivering 27-ish blows to an unconscious man's skull,
27.
I really think there is a strong argument to be made that he was in there doing that solely to try and kill him. All of this on stream, mind you, and you can even see him respond to the news that the guy that he just unloaded 27 punches on in the ring while he was unconscious is potentially flatlined.
Hello?
Hey, where the hell are you gonna start welding them. I just saw the video.
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
Didn't have to do all that shit.
You're bad. I hope this little worm gets put in jail where he belongs. Because he doesn't know what wrestling is. Then I guarantee he's too much of a fucking pussy to step up in the UFC arena because they'll fucking kill him. Especially if they find out what he did in the wrestling organization.
I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take advantage.
I'll call you back later.
This guy does not seem to care at all. This is a fucking monster right here. In response to hearing that the guy flatlined, he just says, "My bad." That's crazy. Kratos had more empathy for the people that he killed in very similar fashion, by the way, with like the unbelievable amount of blows to the head. But at least in Kratos' case, the people he was fighting, they were at least conscious. All of these were delivered to an unconscious man. A man who never even saw this coming, by the way, because he storms into the ring.
That's the reason why this happened. Because if they should have told him, they should have said something to him. So I guarantee you he would have protected himself a little bit better whenever he got into that motion of being thrown onto the mat. Because the way you throw someone on the mat is you have to throw them square on their back so their head doesn't hit the thing. The way he got thrown onto the mat, he hit his head. And he probably would have been able to defend himself better if he had known what was coming for him. They should have said something to this man.
Grabs him and then slams him. So
the entire internet is on fire backing this person, by the way. People want to see this man go to jail where he belongs, away from society.
But he walks away feeling so fucking tough and accomplished about it with no remorse at all for potentially killing this man.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them's a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
He's walking away from this with his chin held high, extremely proud of what's unfolded here.
Even right there, he's so amped up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on some kind of narcotic, honestly. He's so amped up.
It seems like this might be the happiest moment of his life. The way that he is perceiving this is him standing up for himself. He is not able to have a grasp on the severity of what just happened here.
It's because he's one of those dumbasses that actually thinks that wrestling is not a controlled sport.
He thinks that because the disrespect that he encountered earlier in the day, he was entirely justified to potentially murder this man.
What's crazy is if that was his first debut, getting up there and doing that to the guy on stage, he could have made himself known in the WWE community. You know, that could have been his first step up onto the ring for a permanent basis, but he just threw it all away because he's an idiot.
By the way, the wrestlers that were calling him a bitch, well, I imagine they were saying that because he basically sucker punched this guy potentially to death. The guy never even had a chance to fight back because he came into the ring when his back was turned, slammed him down, immediately knocking him unconscious. It wasn't even a fight, it was a surprise attack. So I imagine that's what he's referencing when it comes to the wrestlers like insulting him and the one that bit him with everyone that was like getting on top of Raja to get him away.
Well, that's what I was saying is this guy's too much of a pussy to get into the UFC because if he did that in the UFC, if he had done this kind of behavior in the UFC, the people that he would have gone up against, if they were able to restand their ground, they'd have killed him. They'd have snapped his neck. They wouldn't have even played with that. They'd have called that fight off immediately.
Psycho Stu on the ground because he was still going back.
And the reason for that is because if you do that to an actual UFC fighter, their mentality is going to go into self-defense mode. Because if you're sitting on top of somebody and you keep hitting them like that, even though the ref is trying to pull you off, and they stumble back to their feet and they're able to fight back, they're gonna be in I need to fight for my life mode because they would have to be fighting for their life
to try and make sure he was dead, it seems. Now,
and I guarantee you, if he tried to throw that many punches on a UFC fighter, now keep in mind the UFC fighters, you know, the human skull is about the same, but they know how to take them punches better. So there's a good chance that the UFC fighter probably would have stood up. I don't think this person deserves to be in a cage where he gets thousands of views. He needs to be in jail where the only views he gets is from the police.
Rest of the clip here, one of the wrestlers
2 square meals a day
from the event starts walking towards them, talking to them, trying to get them to stay, probably until police get there would be my guess.
Yeah.
But he is talking to them and he is shit talking, trying to goad him into staying. And he's like talking about like, I'll fight you right now. And then it's a back and forth. But Raja Jackson reiterates that he wants to fight more of them there. He wants to continue to beat people within an inch of their life there.
What a
It's
disgusting
scary.
person.
I
What an
cannot
absolutely
imagine a
what
world where
a
he
piece
does
of
not go to
trash.
jail for this. I really can't. Rampage Jackson has tons and tons of money, sure, but I don't know if he's going to be able to outspend the attempted murder charges that his son just racked up here. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't have like a magic crystal ball.
Especially not with all these videos that are coming forward now.
That I can ponder the orb of to see the future, but my guess would be that there will be attempted murder charges
There needs to
for
be.
this incident. Because,
This is just disgusting. What an absolute disgrace to the sport. I am mind blown this guy was able to get as far as he did in the sport. Like how many times has he hurt people doing this? Like I just can't. It's disgusting. It really is. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh man. What we got? We'll save this for tomorrow because it's short. All right, so this is what, just so we're aware, I did do a video on this over the weekend as well. Now that they're done with DC, they plan on moving to 19 other states, including Texas, and doing the same thing they did in DC.
Talk about what's happening.
They've arrested 900 people and 100 gun seizures.
With the crackdown in DC.
I would assume that the guns they seized were, illegal weapons.
Crime, and we see the huge presence of the National Guard. 4 or 5 states have put their National Guard members
encampments cleared. They cleared 49 homeless encampments. They actually got 5 MS-13 members, 910 plus
the more
arrests.
high-trafficked areas, allowing the cops to go into the more challenging areas and make some big-time arrests. Look at these totals.
Yeah, look at the numbers. Over 910 total arrests. This is just since August 7th. 5 known gang members, MS-13 members, 101 firearms have been seized and taken off the streets. 49 homeless encampments have been cleared away.
And Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is very upset about this.
Why? Why would he be upset?
Because he's worried about tyranny, he says.
But all they did was lock up people that were either homeless, that didn't want to go and get the help they needed, and people that were criminals, actual criminals. You can't just arrest somebody. They have to be committing a crime, or they have to have like some kind of warrant out.
Trump
Come
sending
on.
the National Guard to Chicago, and this is what he had to say.
Well, again, the city of Chicago does not need a military occupied state. That's not who we are.
Well, they're the only ones. Well, this is MSNBC. They're taking clips from MSNBC.
Have police power. There's nothing they can do. These are federal troops. They do not go through the training that our police officers go through. So they cannot even enact police authority. We're not going to surrender our humanity.
I'm sure the numbers are actually kind of skewed a bit. So, I mean, it's not going to matter who's doing what. It could be MSNBC doing this, and I'm sure they're either going to beef or they're going to lower the numbers, depending on what they think or what they feel, whether they want to be good for Trump or bad for Trump that week. And I'm sure Fox is the same way. I think at this point, Fox is just trying not to get their shit taken down, like The View.
I can tell you this:
and
the city of Chicago has a
Stephen
long history
Stephen
of
Colbert.
standing up against tyranny, resisting those who wish to undermine the interests of working people. We're not going to back down. We're not going to cower. We're not going to bend. We're not going to break. We are Chicago. We are the soul of America, and we will maintain that posture from now until.
You know, we can have all kinds of debates, constitutional debates, all kinds of debates about sending federal troops into cities like this. But to worry about tyranny and not be concerned about the tyranny of lawlessness and the tyranny of crime that all of his residents live under right now.
I just don't understand why they wouldn't want to clean up these cities. I mean, D.C. needed to be cleaned up, and it looks like it has been.
Over 200 people were killed in the past year.
Exactly.
And he's beating his chest saying, oh, isn't this great?
93 arrests on Saturday, and out of those, 46 were illegal aliens, and that's in D.C. But fine, you don't want them, send them to New York, please. Please, Donald Trump, send them here. Clean up these streets. I welcome it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who goes to Chicago and says, this is the soul of America. They go to Chicago and go, this city used to be great.
Right.
And our mayor is so terrible. He's got, I believe, I was just looking it up, he's got 26% approval rating. That's pretty horrendous. That's so awful, it's hard to imagine. In a huge Democratic city that put him in office, they are predominantly, because they're going to get some pushback. Now, I know the Secretary...
I mean, I think that no matter what anybody does nowadays, they're going to get pushback. Even if it's in the right direction or the wrong direction, it seems like some people just don't know anymore. So they're just going to push back on it because they see change and they're terrified of it. Like, honestly.
It's allowed the National Guard to carry guns in D.C. now. So I hope they were able to defend themselves and are not targeted in Chicago because it's extremely dangerous. In Maryland, Wes Moore challenged President Trump to walk the streets with him. And Trump basically says, watch your mouth, clean up your city, and don't worry about me walking through the city. And when Wes Moore goes out there and talks about how great Baltimore is, you might think things are heading in the right direction. That's what you say. You don't say Baltimore is a city that is not ridden and overrun with crime and looks like the city that was once great but isn't anymore.
And you know what's kind of interesting about every single one of the, whether it's Brandon Johnson or Wes Moore, they complain about everything that Donald Trump is doing, but their party and their policies have governed those cities for decades.
By the way, the president today, executive
neighborhoods, kids could go outside, they could have picnics outside, they could sit on their...
They can go to the park now and not have to worry about being, like, touched by some weirdo or chased down with a fucking shopping bag.
The people can't sell their houses because right across the street were people selling drugs.
Right. And by the way, they had a panel on ABC talking about D.C. crime, and it's...
What's crazy is that if you see shoes thrown over a power line, that means that there are drugs being sold in the area. I think the police throw those up on the power lines.
Always teens lean left. Not this time. Rachel Bade said, no, it's really bad. I left the city because they broke into my car one time too many. So it's people that live in D.C., even if they don't vote for...
Well, like, we've been in this apartments for almost 3 years now, and my fiance's car has been broken into 3 fucking times. One of those times, it was involved in a high-speed pursuit. Like, I want this shit gone. I was so happy when I saw Texas was on those 19 states. I was like, God damn, finally. We have an area around us. It's not really close, but it's too close for comfort. It's called Guns Point. It's supposed to be called Greens Point, but it's called Gun Point because people have fucking guns and they shoot each other all the time over there. And the cops aren't able to stop it because by the time they ever show up, they're all fucking gone. No, this has been long overdue. I'm sorry, but this has been long overdue. I'm so tired of busting my ass just to have some rat shit motherfucker come and take all, like, just to have some piece of shit come and take everything you worked hard for, all that time and effort just thrown away. This is long overdue. This is.
Trump are saying,
I don't care where it's coming from, but it needs to happen. I'm tired of being the only one, it feels like, that's doing the right things and then not getting anywhere. It sucks.
I can tell you, there's not a crime problem.
Well, we will have a familiar face to you, U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro, up at...
Okay. I saw this and I was like, we have to react to it.
At Gamescom,
So, these fucking weirdos. These fucking weirdos made a game. I don't think he's gonna have it here. No, he's not. So these weirdos are making a game about Hispanic people in the trek to crossing the border into America illegally. I saw this and I was like, I've got to react to this.
Currently showcasing a game about illegally crossing into the USA and processing the trauma from being a minority with real audio clips from real illegals. I have to see this. I have to see it. I want to watch it. This is content. Wait a minute. Okay, we might have
It's about to be
Let's get
peak.
it.
And
Ah, shit!
What's the matter, Asmon? Who else would it have been? Would you expect a white guy with a big bushy beard? Fuck no.
I just got triggered.
Oh my god.
Great. So I got a little intro. Thank you. My name's Carla Reyes. My pronouns are she, her. And yeah, I run a little indie studio called Anima Interactive. We're developing Take Us North, which
Take
is
Us
about
North.
migration across the US-Mexico border, which is obviously a very relevant and heavy-hitting topic.
Yeah.
But that's why we found it important
getting
to
deported.
talk about
No,
now.
you're
And
not
I'll
going
share a
north.
little
You're
bit
going
about
south.
our behind-the-scenes.
Yeah.
That's so fucking weird. So why is it that it's trying to do that thing to you? So like every time you chat, whenever you use a curse word, it stops you. But it doesn't do that for actual commenters on videos, because I've got that shit turned on for video comments too. It's only stopping you. It's so weird. I want YouTube to ask me whenever someone curses in a comment, because I'll take that down. But whenever it's in a stream chat, no one cares. Why would you stop a stream chat, but not a comment on a video?
In the development of this project, because it's very deeply rooted in research. Given how sensitive and complex and nuanced the subject matter is, we want to make sure that we are telling these stories.
Are they going to research the way that illegal migrants steal the identity?
See, Trump should take this and he should like backwards engineer it and then figure out how these guys are getting in.
Of American
Stop
citizens
it.
and then
So that way, like, like not like stop it at the beginning, stop it at like the very end whenever they get right up to the border. Just have like a line of people that are just there waiting to put them in the back of the truck and take them back.
benefits illegally. I wonder if they're going to talk about that.
Authentically, and that we are, reaching our goal in trying to shift hearts and minds around this. So before I begin,
Why would I change my mind about being an illegal immigrant is bad?
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, this isn't a game, it's propaganda. Of course. Obviously it is.
To ask all of you, because I'm mindful there might not be many Americans in the room. Are there any Americans, by the way? No, okay. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so could I ask...
one guy.
There's
what,
one guy.
Are your perceptions around like the motivations behind migration across the U.S.-Mexico border? Like, what are you hearing in the
It's illegal and you shouldn't do it because you're going to get fucking deported.
Headlines in the news? I'm just curious. You can shout things out or... Yep, go ahead. Trump out, yes. Okay. Anyone else?
I just hope that China and Korea can save us from this madness. Maybe like South America can.
So, like, I want to give you guys a general idea. Whenever a bunch of illegal immigrants cross over the border, typically, and I'm going to say this as blunt as possible, if you're a woman, you're either molested or raped. If you're trafficked, they take you, and you never see your family again. And they typically send you over into American soil with drugs. That's why the fentanyl was so bad. They send you with a bunch of stuff. illegal firearms. They seize you with a lot of stuff, okay? You're not just being trafficked yourself, you are trafficking other things. So when you cross the border and you get to your contacts and they bring you to wherever, your journey is only just begun. Because now you're in for what would have been indentured servitude that would have led to deportation now thanks to Trump's huge deportation policies that he has. Don't come here unless it's legally. Stop doing it. It is illegal. We don't want you here. Thank you.
Oh my God.
What do you think is the primary motivation for people from Latin America or otherwise?
I tell you what it is. It's called the American lie. It's the American dream, but it's a lie now.
Crossing the U.S.-Mexico border.
Who cares?
Violence.
Great. Okay, violence. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone
that's
else?
the problem.
Instead of staying there and fixing their own fucking country, they're coming here and ruining ours by flying their fucking flags and stuff. Like, not just by flying their flags, but they're taking homes, they're taking jobs that should be going to American people that can get a full-fledged like wage so they can support themselves and a family. That like they're ruining the economy by doing this. And what really sucks is that it's not just the immigrants' fault, it's the fucking jobs. The jobs that hire them. The businesses.
I used to live in El Salvador some years, and violence is the main.
You got more stuff
okay, so this is great because I think like in the U.S., one of the narratives that's being pushed is obviously, you've probably heard this. Americans or they'll often say Latin Americans, or they'll be reductive to Mexicans. They will say like they're just stealing our jobs, right? Like
I think that this talks. I think she talks about the deadly migrant route. Like the way the route is engineered, it's meant to like you have to go through like the desert, and then you get like bitten by the wildlife and you die. And it's supposed to be a deterrence, but people don't seem to get that.
They're creating more traffic. They steal, obviously, a bunch of other different type of entitlement programs like food stamps, etc.
And keep in mind, they can get on food stamps. What they do is they steal someone's ID. They steal their identity, and then they use that to get on programs like food stamps and Social Security. So they end up stealing and using them to their benefits. And it fucks the person who needs to get the actual money and the funds out of what they can get.
They do jobs for cents on the dollar that should be made for Americans, or they should be improved by automation instead of relying on illegals as a, working class of people. The reason why people think this is because it's true. And also,
and I'm going to say this, to be honest, if we have a culture where we rely on people that are effectively slave labor, we don't deserve to exist as a culture, period. They're being paid pennies on the dollar. They get no insurance for health. They get no place to live. They probably work themselves literally to death at the jobs that they get. And they get constantly threatened with being deported. Do you think that that's any life that anybody should live? No, it's not. And as a society, we should be ashamed that our companies, our corporations need to rely on them instead of hiring actual Americans. It's disgusting.
Oh, by the way, they just showed up in our fucking country. Why the fuck should we be okay with people showing up in our country? We didn't say they could be here. What a ridiculous thing to say. Oh, people want to come here. Too bad. It's like even the base impulse of this is outrageous.
What's even crazier is that the people who migrated legally, it's ruining their ability to stay here, or like it's giving them a bad reputation as well. And they know that. That's why a lot of people that are here legally, they are advocating for Trump to get these fuckers out of here. Because it's ruining it for not just us, but the people who migrated here legally. It's ruining it for everybody.
The amount of entitlement that these people have is disgusting to me. It is. It's absolutely disgusting. That's what the natives said too, no? Yeah, and look what happened to them. Not so good, huh?
That's right. It's the rich people wanting them to stay for cheap labor. That's exactly what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if that 95% of the people that are, or even 50, I would take 50. I feel like 50% of people that are protesting all this immigration stuff are just bought and paid for by big business. Straight up. You can hire people that will, you can talk to companies and hire people that will protest. It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't want to end up like that.
One of the big rhetoric pushes, and part of what we're trying to do is challenge this misinformation, right? So
misinformation.
Let me just quickly show a couple of videos here. So we've done like voice of the people style interviews. So let me. I want to make sure this audio works. Try this.
It's like most something.
Yeah, duh.
And like I know there's a lot of like violence and like drug problems in and around the border, like with the cartels.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it's just a lot of fleeing that.
Not making good money, and it's hope of the people. I mean, from many countries, people are dreaming of living in the United States because they are sending to families money which they are making here. I mean, $15, $20 per hour.
Jobs no one wants.
The American dream, pretty much.
This is what I'm talking about, bro, right here. I've been trying to warn y'all about this. I've been trying to tell y'all about this. This is it. How disingenuous for them to say migration when the debate is about illegal immigration. Oh,
Exactly.
It's because they don't.
Migration and illegal immigration are two different things. You can migrate somewhere legally. You cannot do that as an illegal immigrant. You cannot. It's not possible.
Believe that it's illegal. That's the reason why. They think it's okay for them to do it. Like they have some kind of like entitlement to come to America. It's outrageous.
More refugees than anything else, the jobs no one wants.
The American dream, pretty much. So coming from where my parents
have to deal with it because they're on the completely other side of the border. Just keep it.
Migration.
By the way, New York City. So if you have a map of the U.S. down here. So if you ever
what's crazy is you don't even need to take this map as reference because what they do over there is they just bust them in and give them free hotels and stuff. I mean,
New Yorker talking about how good New York border. It's insane. Yep.
The way, sorry to the AV team. Could people hear that okay? Or, oh yeah, it was fine. Okay, cool. All right. Let me see if I can go back.
Do we get, I don't care about like.
Try to human. So yeah, as I said, it's a narrative-driven game.
Of migrant, players assume the role of a migrant guy who embodies the complex interplay of duty and empathy. I wonder if he sexually traffics the women that he's helping move over the border. They probably won't do that, will they? No, because it might.
No, because they're just going to show what they're going to show what people think it is. They're not going to show what it really is. See, they wouldn't want to do that because it would hurt their cause.
Make what they're saying look bad, even though that's exactly what happens.
Yep, he's absolutely right.
I wonder if you're able to molest the women that you help come across the border with. Probably not. I wonder why. It's because it's not about telling an accurate story. It's about telling a lie.
It's about pushing a narrative and spinning it however you can to make it seem good, even though it's terrible.
With migrants and asylum seekers, and I'll dig into our approach to that.
Whatever it is for one guy to get across the border on this path, it's twice as hard for any woman.
A bit, but basically in the game you play the role of a migrant guide or a guia, often known as coyotes. Coyotes are often associated with the drug trade. You know, people meant carteles before, but it's more complicated than that, and
it is more complicated. It's worse.
That's why we want to show this game, because we believe in video games as one of the most immersive art forms and as a tool to foster
its resources and then take advantage of it while not respecting that country's borders.
Oh, he's talking about
It's not empathy at all. You want to come to another country and experience its resources and then
not show any respect or regard for any of the actual, like, boundaries that are in place, like laws that keep people like these immigrants from doing this. Like, they're just taking advantage of the resources and screwing Americans out of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Advantage of it while not respecting that country's borders. You want to go into the country illegally against their consent. You know that you're not supposed to be here. You're going here anyway.
Yeah.
You want to talk about empathy? I think that should start at the beginning whenever you come somewhere where you know you're not supposed to be.
Exactly.
Why y'all put up with these retards? Honestly, I think that the time of putting up with these people is almost over. It is coming to a close, and I am so fucking glad.
Well, you do realize that the past 4 years has been a wake-up call for most Americans with the government the way it was. And these past, like, 6-7 months, however long Trump has been in office, I don't even think it's been like 6 months yet, he's completely cleaned up a solid majority of a lot of things. At least he claims he has. I mean, in Trump style, he's preaching a big game, but we've yet to see it. So I wouldn't be surprised that people aren't going to be branching off of Trump's ideals a lot more if they start seeing change. I think that he's right. I think that a lot of this stuff is about to go bye-bye. A lot of these weirdos are about to go.
Topics. Okay, so let me...
We're collaborating with Undocumented Filmmakers Collective.
There's actually a studio for this.
As I said, so lab at the university.
Working with a university in California for this.
Oh, big fucking surprise. It's got California written on it.
Expected such a dramatic change of events. What world a U.S. person comes to Germany to virtue signal about their problems? Imagine traveling to the EU to promote such a game. Well, I don't know where she's from. I have no idea. Shit every day and not want to boil your brains out. How blatantly manipulative, toxic, of emotion your country, to give up your culture, to give up your morality, and to instead effectively adopt someone else's. It's not about you being not judgmental. It's about letting somebody else judge you.
Yeah.
And letting them decide what's okay, letting them tell you what's acceptable, letting them dictate their idea of empathy. Their idea of empathy is, we're going to invade your country illegally, and if you get mad about it, we're going to call you mean.
That's pretty much what's happened. Like, whenever there was backlash against when the Democrats were in office and people were getting bussed in New York and given places to stay and for free, and then given all this food that they could eat for free, and the American citizens in New York that have been homeless, like veterans and stuff, have never even had the taste of that at all, or even given an option to do that. And the people were like being really big and like given a lot of backlash because of this. They were getting called Nazis and, getting defamed like crazy. It's just kind of sad to see that it was the way it was, but now that things have done a 180, you're seeing a whole different ball game being played, where people that are being called Nazis, they're just ignoring it now because the name has lost meaning.
The character name? What's the character name?
Karen recalls what she's seen in the last... Oh my god.
I don't see character name. Top right? I don't get it.
Karen?
Scorpion by...
Jesus Christ.
You can't...
Church, and Kings, which is all about smuggling across the U.S.-Mexico border. And we've been working with his team, and...
legally isn't a soldier, and they're certainly not a king.
His team, and there's also a collective of...
Anybody who's doing any smuggling across the border
He published a book last year called Soldiers and Kings, which is all about smuggling across the U.S.-Mexico border. And we've been working with...
I love how they straight up publish a book. Like, and they call... I
team, and there's also a
That's like if you killed somebody and you called yourself a god. It's like gods and kings. Like, dude, come on.
Anybody who's doing any smuggling across the border illegally isn't a soldier, and they're certainly not a king. They're criminals that often sexually abuse the people that they're doing things with.
Exactly.
And also manipulate them, sometimes kill them, and traffic over drugs that kill people.
Yep. They also put them in to the skin trade and use them until they're done with them, and then they end up killing them anyway. So, yeah.
Undocumented.
They're parasites.
They are. They're disgusting
the people
human
that do
beings.
that are awful.
Filmmakers in the U.S. So these are people who are artists and storytellers in their own right, but they actually also have experience of having crossed the border. So here you can kind of just see, like, side by side, a lot of the...
Amazing.
Wow. Oh, so, like... Damn, they've done some upgrades to this fence. I love how they're really trying to make a game to play on people's empathy, to give a shit about a bunch of people that are trying to cross the American border to take jobs and traffic drugs over to the American soil. And they're trying to be like, oh, well, a couple thousand people die a week, or, well, maybe they shouldn't be there. If they didn't want to die, then why would they be there?
This is no game. No, it's not. Holy shit, this is ridiculous. I know. Can you believe this?
The context that we're trying to portray in the game. So, of course, the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's primarily set in the Sonoran Desert, which is one of the deadliest migrant trails, and weaponized nature, and they're trying to keep...
Thank God.
Good.
Thank God.
Got that alligator Alcatraz going.
Be lucky it's not worse. That's some alligator Alcatraz shit.
That's what I said.
Suffering from...
They chose to go there.
Like, that's what kind of kills me the most. It's like, oh, well, poor them, but they're actively choosing to go here and do this. Like, and then you die, and it's like, you want me to feel sorry for you? No. That's like if I got my arm bit off by sticking it into an alligator's mouth. You want me to feel sorry for you? Hell no! That's what happens when you stick your arm in an alligator mouth. It gets bit the fuck off.
I did to do this.
Walking days across the desert, and unfortunately, thousands of migrants have died or gone missing.
Rip Bozo. That's what happens when you do something illegal.
On these trails.
Then
and
they shouldn't have gone on the trail.
Right?
They shouldn't have done it. Yeah, they shouldn't have done it.
How are you going to try to make the American people feel bad for that? Are you crazy? No. Just no.
Maybe if you don't want to have this bad happen to you, maybe just don't do it. Do not come.
Amen.
I've gone myself and walked along the trails and done on the ground work with
Is that are you saying that you admitting that you're an illegal immigrant? Is that what you're saying?
Humanitarian groups, and we'll talk about that, but there are also other aspects of the trail which I'll dig into.
Oh my God.
And just some examples of the team going to visit the lab at UCLA.
Survival and hope in the world of human smuggling. What
Jesus
a bunch of fucking
Christ.
bullshit. This is the problem that I think these people have, is that they're like, you really think human trafficking is about survival and hope? No. Oh my God.
I can't watch anymore. This is stupid. I do know that she spent so much time talking about this game and the feelings behind it that she didn't even have a trailer. Or she ran out of time to even play the trailer. I think that this is incredibly stupid, and I look forward to watching this game get no players other than, like, clout goblins. Chad. I think this is just stupid. Straight up. This is just dumb. I don't understand how they're going to try and play on emotional manipulation to make you feel like you should give a shit about these people that are obviously trying to break the law to get into America and kill Americans with drugs and other means. I can't. This is just stupid. The idea behind this is just stupid. My view of it is that if you want to live in America, then get here legally. That's all there is to it. If you die on one of these trails because you were trying to illegally get smuggled into the US, well, rip bozo, you got what was coming to you. Again, I'm not going to stick my arm in an alligator mouth because I know it's going to get bit off, and I'm not going to feel bad for the person that does and it gets bit off. But I think that is it for today. Tomorrow, we were going to start with a 2 hours worth of reaction. And then we're actually going to probably stream until noon tomorrow playing Metal Gear Solid Delta, which releases tonight at 11. It's already downloaded for me. So, yeah, look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, big day, big game, big day, big game. I'm going to roll up out of here. It's already 11:30. I can't believe it's already 11:30 on Monday. It's crazy. But yes, I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace. Stay safe out there.